ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It's a pretty heavy one from 9/11 to the events with Mr. Charlie Kirk yesterday. May God rest his soul. But we had the CPI, and it wasn't that crazy. In a weird way, the jobless claims kind of took over. It was the biggest jobless claims in the last 4 years. So that supports the credibility of the labor market deteriorating and all of that. But we're now getting ready for a little bit more data tomorrow. But I think the deal is sealed. And we're all getting ready. Remember, you haven't even heard any Fed speakers because they're on a blackout, because literally next Wednesday. So we get tomorrow, then you get the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, and then Powell, my friend. So I hope you're locked and loaded. I hope you are ready for it. We only got 2 minutes. I actually still got a couple plays I'm going to be looking at. CNC, Oscar, SanDisk, AbbVie, NRSN. That was the neuroscience one. And then pretty much CNC and Oscar, these are like the UNH plays. Oscar is the outperformer. CNC was like the other UNH, value, healthcare. And then they were at a conference this morning and they reaffirmed their guidance wasn't that bad. And then now it's up like 15%. And then the neuroscience one, I just think that's going to get pumped. And then sadly, Ruger and Geo, they are up on the Charlie Kirk stuff, believe it or not. So literally Ruger's already up 3. So you might get some of that. And then keep an eye out on restoration. I think we're going to hear some more policy stuff. That furniture stuff disappeared. And then RCAP, they have a, what's it called? They had some thing with NATO in a drone. So here we are. Is Open having a short squeeze? I think people would say, yeah, it was, remember the volume in the beginning. They had a new CEO today. So the old Shopify CEO is the CEO now, and it went crazy. So yeah, and then STSS, if you like pudgy penguins, that was there too. I thought that was fascinating. And then watch bonds. Again, what the jobless claims is the reason that gave bonds a bid. We have another big bond auction today, but I do think it should be good, actually. So we'll see, because bonds are catching a bid, and there was a lot more room for them to move around. Oh, excuse me. All right, but get ready. 55 seconds. I need to go to the bathroom. I did not do that, man. What a morning, bro. And God bless you all, and thank you, veterans, again. And rest in peace, Charlie, man. And prayers to his family and every single one of you who is even affected by it, man. That's just rough. I can't believe it still. So good morning. Now let's get it, though. It's game time. So Chattadonia, I hope you're ready. I don't have any propaganda. I did want to go potty, but let's see. Let me get a play in, and then we'll go. And then we'll go to the restroom. Because I think I have a couple that I'm going to be looking at right here at the bell, or I'm going to be monetizing some of the other ones we already have. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens from there. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Fight. Okay, some option chains are not opened up yet. What's the other one? So yeah, a couple chains haven't even opened yet. Oh, there they are. Woo! All right, yeah, they're not filling anything. Those, what's it called? Those leaps just went crazy. So yeah, bro, CNC, if you had the leap, oh shit, I was on the wrong video. You could make it free, or you could put it for your long term, as weird as that may sound. So if that keeps going, you could still keep holding the leap, but if you ever really wanted to, you could transfer that to the long term if you did decide you wanted to hold 100 shares at whatever price it was. Other one, where's Adabe too? So you're gonna get that. I haven't looked at the China one. Damn, Adabe moved. Adabe. All right. Oracle too. The Oracle cheapies are still clapped. So again, that's just not moving as much from yesterday. Walmart's kind of moving around here. Micron, they were at an event too. That's a conference play, surprisingly. They were this morning. Alright. I gotta manage like 2 more. The Eli Lilies came down, but not bad. Equal weight pop in. Nasdaq's up 0.4, SPY 0.3, Dow 0.3, and then Russell 0.2. So everything's kind of the same direction. Not bad, Habibi. Not bad at all. Yeah, Adobe after the bell. I'm looking at those premiums right now. Because again, those are the ones that were going crazy no matter what yesterday. That's what was fascinating. But yeah, the Adobes aren't moving as much right now. Some of the puts are. Gold. Surprisingly, bonds didn't move as much. That one's interesting. Yeah, the bonds kind of even front ran it. Watch though if the bonds get back to the pre-market highs, or if they could even start to break those. Yeah, the Adobe wasn't too crazy, but then it got crazy yesterday. That's where that all occurred. Hood, let's go back. CNC's already up there. Where's UNH? And just see if you get any sort of rotation. Right now, it looks like everything's just up. So staples, healthcare, I mean, I think even tech. Whereas Oracle's not as hot today. Now Netflix on the low, and then TTD. You did get a couple of downgrades. Who else was it? FedEx and UPS. They both got downgraded. They're not doing too bad. There's Geo, Ruger. Any of these. Yeah, Abivai got, they settled the lawsuit with Rinvoq, or like the manufacturers. So it was actually really good. And then CNC stopped moving. I think the premiums on CNC are still up though. So that didn't really change it too much. Yeah, no, the premiums are fucking higher on CNC. They just widened the spreads there. And then where's China? Synopsis. I don't know. I gotta see how far down it went. That was, again, its worst day in a while, but I think you just gave up the year. Yeah, so it's, if you kind of like a CRM or one of those growth plays, it's definitely not cheap from starting at where it was, but if you need growth or you want some of that chasey higher premium stuff, that discount will help you get there, but it doesn't meet my criteria. IR. Palantir on the low. Again, staples are starting to go up here a little bit. Even see transports. Again, some of them got downgraded, so not good. Yeah, Netflix was dropping earlier. I haven't seen Google's down. Nvidia is barely green. Airlines are going down too. I don't know if they were at a conference. They were moving around a lot pre-market. We had Delta up there earlier. JP Morgan, CoreWeave, those plays chilled from yesterday. ARM's starting to go back up, but they killed the premiums a little bit. That actually might be good. I was actually going to go look for the conferences again. So I was going to pull those up right now and see where we're at. Kind of slow. Yeah, you are coming down a little bit. Nothing's gone red market-wise. I'll get you guys a checkup, but it's only been 8 minutes. Circle on the high, a couple of energy plays as well. I haven't looked at oil yet. Fill that. CNC. So CNC stopped moving. Zillow taking a couple candles now. Zillow's actually getting a little bigger. I feel like it does that every day though. Pepsi, big pop. Pepsi's just gone straight up. Like I'm saying, Coca-Cola, Staples, healthcare. Some of the value plays that didn't get too much love, they're kind of waking up here. Yeah, Oracle gave up a decent amount. Hey man, I think we played it great yesterday. It would have been nice to get it pre-earnings, but even without it, I think we did fairly well. That was a good timing. Pizza. That's going up. Qualcomm and Google on the low. Remember there was a Qualcomm thing yesterday? There was one of those headlines right before. And then Microsoft starting to drop. I mean, that's going to add some pressure. Yeah, big tech's not really playing along, so NASDAQ's barely green. Just remember, though, what we talked about yesterday. I mean, dude, you gapped up and hit another record high 5 minutes ago. So, yeah, like, you have a lot of gaps to fill, but even if you drop 50 points, you will relatively be at the previous high from a couple days ago. So, yeah, you got a lot in store, brother. And you're coming off CPI. So we already kind of doing the, again, early morning CPI reactions. You might get something. Let's see your equal weight. Yeah, equal weight's actually launching. So that's probably your Staples and some other things. So SPY doing its thing, and it feels like all the big tech is going down. But yeah, Staples and the other portion of the market is really, really running right now. So yeah, equal weight is just straight up. So take note. Look at the high ticker. That thing's almost gassed, even though you're right at the open. Couple of other names. It's a very weird mix. I'll get the checkup in a little bit. There is a Pfizer. Lulu's starting to go up, and then City. Oh, I gotta get the list. See what we're working with. The Adobe puts are doing it again. RTX, GM. There's a lot of non-tech names are just straight melting up. So it's a very different setup than what we saw the other day. But you do still have that at play. Alright, yeah, a lot of it. VRTX. Okay. Calendar. NUE. Fig on the high. Circle. I'm looking at the calendar. Analyst meetings. All right. Lake Street Best Ideas Conference. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. There's a Jeffries Tech Conference. Come on. All right. There's just a lot of general meetings. Morgan Stanley Conference. IR. Mongo is going to be at Piper Sandler at 10 a.m. So that's in the next like 20 minutes. Delta and all that. I think we already had those. Baba. I thought Baba went down earlier. That should have. Oh, they did that offering. They went down and then came back up. FFAI short report from Wolfpack. Alright. NetEase on the high. I don't know if you guys still have those plays. Good morning. Have a blessed day. Amen. Amen. So Delta, GitLab is going to be at 11, Piper Sandler, CSX, LMT. So remember, what's it called moved? Your boy moved last time, RTX. And then SPY near the low. Etsy on the high. That one I think is at a conference. You have Northrop Grumman at the conference 2 at 11. Vertex at 12:30. Oh no, Verx. That's a different one. AAL, Lear Corp, You have Walmart at Piper Sandler today, and then Booking. Dow Chemicals is going to be at the Morgan Stanley conference at 1:45. The Boeing Co? Why do they call it the Boeing Co? So yeah, Boeing's going to be at a conference today too. And then SPY just took a pop. Kind of, again, there's a lot of things that are already up right now. So if tech starts moving, you'll get a bigger move. And then SoundHound is at the conference too. Why does it do that, Habibi? The whole SPY's going up, and Walmart too. They're going to be at a conference. Baba in China again. I'm taking conference plays if you're hearing it. So I've just named out several of them. I just did several of them at a time. I'm just doing very small plays. I mean, we've been hitting these all fucking week. So I'm keeping them small, and then that's it. But we just know what's coming up here very shortly. Synopsis dropping again. There should be up today. Yeah, no, Synopsis is about to go red again. Yeah, SPY's still going. Dash, Uber, a couple of other travel names too. Yeah, Synopsis, I looked again. We hit those yesterday, but that chain is terrible. Remember, TTD got their downgrade yesterday, but yeah, they are moving up pretty big. And then Circle and Oracle, TTD moving up. Oracle's down 5. I don't know. Did the puts hit? Remember, I sold them. Oh, they didn't fill me on all of them. Hot dog. Don't know what that means. Oh, our cat's the one with the, what's it called, huh? That was the NATO one this morning. God, damn, that one's still going. Shit. So yeah, that one still kept going. I don't know, our cat, they even have options, but that one actually killed it. Woo! Yeah, that was the one from the morning. So again, I was telling you the NATO stuff. But yeah, that one actually just melted up another 20%. China's coming up now. You also got Baidu playing along out of nowhere. The seat, you didn't miss much. Came in hotter on headline instead of core, but, you know, guarantees your cut for next week, but nothing beyond that. Oh, the other CNCs and other stuff are popping now, though. So yeah, that little move, you're getting some movements. I actually really like that one still. What was that? What just flashed there? And then SPY, 52-week high, my brethren. 52-week high. Congratulations. BHP, Zilla, watch if other energy starts to go up, but I'll give you a checkup in 7 minutes. Yeah, oil's down. That's a new fucking high, man. A new all-time high. This time, equal weight in staples and everything is ripping, though. Like, you have staples now. This isn't just tech. You got to keep in mind, the last, like, 3 or 4 days, bro, it's just been all big tech. Remember, Google, Apple, Microsoft. This is everybody else today. So, and then big tech is just holding up still. But yeah, you have almost every single industry really running here. That's what's funny because it looks small, but Dow's up almost 1%. Russell's up 0.6. Dow or S&P and NASDAQ, it's only like 0.3, 0.4. But yeah, everybody else but big tech is really going today. So yeah, you are taking off in that sense. Those RCATs look beautiful, bro. GG's if you got those. What was the other one? LDQ, XLF. Again, watch if big tech goes up. If big tech goes up, that's gonna change everything. Low key, Kava's starting to go. I don't know if you have both sides of that. O'Reilly. Trump live. Is he still at the event thing? DHI. Watch if home builders go up. I mean, today, I don't even know who's going to be the leader. It could be almost any industry. And then, or we're going to play the game of whether or not the value plays come up. But yeah, Lulu and some of the plays that got smashed earlier, they could come up, but then look at Synopsis. I mean, you saw. So you could gap up and it could look good after that, but doesn't necessarily, if it's not standing on anything solid, then there you go. The market, I think the market, like I said, just beginning of this week, they're changing their narrative on rates. So you're getting one cut, but I think they're looking for more. But yeah, I think they're looking beyond it. They will. I will award Charlie KIRK the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Trump pays tribute to KIRK. It's happening now. Where is he?
Of our grandparents were scarred by flame and shaken by terror as our country came face to face with pure evil. On that fateful day, savage monsters attacked the very symbols of our civilization. Yet here in Virginia and in New York and in the skies over Pennsylvania, Americans did not hesitate. They stood on their feet and they showed the world that we will never yield, we will never bend, we will never give up, and our great American flag will never, ever fail. That terrible morning 24 years ago, time itself stood still. The laughter of school children fell silent. The rush of our traffic came to an absolute halt. And for 2,977 innocent souls and their families, the entire world came crashing down so suddenly. In the quarter of a century since those acts of mass murder, 9/11 family members have felt the weight of missed birthdays, empty bedrooms, journals left unfinished, and dreams left unfulfilled. To every member that still feels
again, a lot of things are running now broadly. So you're up 0.5% now. Dow's up almost 1%. It's really going. And Bitcoin and crypto.
As one nation, we renew our sacred vow that we will never forget September 11th, 2001. Amid the horror of that morning, some used cell phones and office lines whispered their final words to those who mattered most. They whispered indeed. At 8:59 a.m. aboard United Flight 175, Brian Sweeney called his wife Julie. He told her, "Do good, go have good times. I totally love you. I'll see you again. I'll meet you up there." 4 minutes later, his plane hit the south tower of the World Trade Center. At 9:12 a.m. aboard American Airlines Flight 77, Renee May called her mom. Just the day before, Renee had learned that she was 7 weeks pregnant, but she never got the chance to share the news. She simply said, "I love you, Mom." 25 minutes later, Renee's plane struck the Pentagon. So violent, a strike it was. At 9:53 a.m. aboard United Flight 93, Elizabeth Wayneo called her stepmom. They're getting ready to break into the cockpit. What do I do? I love you
Apple's
so
starting to go now.
To break in.
And then J&J, I don't know if they're at the conference or not, but
Outlook Field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. At 10:25 a.m., Tom McGinnis was trapped on the 92nd floor of the North Tower when he told his wonderful wife, Elena, on the phone, "There are people jumping from the floors above us. We get out of here, it'll be a total miracle. I love you, darling. Take care of Caitlin, beautiful daughter." 3 minutes later, the tower fell. Out of the ash, we witnessed the awesome power of that incredible love. We've seen it rise again. Out of the wreckage, we watched unbelievable courage suddenly take form. And out of the darkness, we saw the timeless truth of America.
I had Goldman plays I just got rid of. They were going to expire.
For the world to see.
They were up.
In America, we take blows, but we never buckle. We bleed, but we do not bow. And we defy the fear, endure the flames, and emerge from the crucible of every hardship stronger, prouder.
Well, yeah, you guys, it's been a very heavy 48 hours, you demons. So I'm sure people sound tired today. Fuck yeah.
Now we have the
Just as a, I don't know. You may not feel it the same way, but I didn't expect you to.
There were heroes like Chuck Costello, 46-year-old elevator mechanic, and a member of the Knights of Columbus. selflessly ran into the World Trade Center.
Dow intraday record.
Trapped in the elevators, his body was not found until the following January, deep under the debris. While going through his belongings, Chuck's widow, Mary, a phenomenal woman, discovered a personal prayer written in his own words, "Help me to light the way for those in the dark, and when I enter the darkness, let me not panic, but patiently wait to remember the light." Beautiful words. When the time came, Chuck ran boldly into the darkness of hell on earth, and now he shines in the light of heaven above. We remember him this morning. That day we learned that the American heroic spirit.
High ticker's fully gassed. Again, record high on the Dow. So maybe the Russell does it next. That's the last one. But yeah, again, like I told you, I even closed a couple of puts, but everything was running, bro. You could tell from the morning. This was different than most of those other days. This is everybody now, while tech is still holding up. It'll change if tech shifts, but for now, you got something.
When this incredible Pentagon was hit, he was right there. After leading hundreds of people to escape routes, Steve turned back and plunged into the inferno itself.
Oracle.
Pushing through the debris, he came upon a severely burned Navy lieutenant, the only survivor from the Navy Command Center. Only one. The wounded lieutenant looked into Steve's soul and said, "Don't let me die." Steve replied, "I won't. I got you. Just hang on." He wheeled the lieutenant out of the wreckage.
Yeah, today's great for the long term because it's a broad day. It's a broad rally. GG's. Oracle's dumping. I don't know. Maybe we should have held the put. I said I didn't need them, but I think they would have made more. No, they wouldn't have, actually. You would have made more money off the put yesterday, believe it or not. Remember, I gave you a range to look at.
Please stand.
BMA. Bonds are catching a bid at the high as well.
Good looking man. Good looking guy. You remember that day. You remember that day.
Good looking guy.
Thank you very much, sir. That was something.
XYL, Amazon partner on water upgrade. I just saw a Mexico play move.
Fallen and sent an unmistakable message to every enemy around the world. If you attack the United States of America, we will
Big
hunt
going
you
up
down.
too.
We will find you. Go all over this sometimes magnificent earth. We will crush you without mercy, and we will triumph without question. That's why we named the former Department of Defense.
And still highs on high, a new all-time high and equal weight just going up. It's everything. Still early. It's 10:05. Let me get you the. I think I want to say 90% is in the green.
Before that and in between, and then
Meta now.
to change
Yeah, 440 names green on the SPY. You have 60 names in the red. Dow Jones only has 3 names in the red: Boeing, McDonald's, and Disney. And then NASDAQ 100, 85 green. Most of the names that are red were the names that have just been ripping already, too, for a certain amount of time. Okay, new high on the SPY, new high on the bonds, and equal weight as well. Dow about to be 1%, Russell right behind it.
While they cannot remember the agony of that day, they are carrying on the legacy of those who lost. Around 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the attacks, Army Lieutenant Colonel Kip Taylor.
Can you call out tickers going up? Not unless there's news behind it, and just avoid like small cap plays. I think they hurt people more than they help people. So like some of you guys have posted really good info, but if it's surrounded by like 80% small cap trash, it really disintegrates. I mean, again, that's how it started with Troy, for crying out loud. You remember I'd always call them out on those shitty small caps, and I'm like, they're hurting people, and people complain to me about it. So just keep information. I'd have it information-wise rather than a small cap pump moving. Can you make money off that? You can, and you could you could get ahead of the pumps, but that's just not our strategy. That's just not what we do. You can do it every now and then if it makes sense, but that's just not what we built this. That's not at least what I do at all.
He was just 2 years old, leaving him to be raised by his father's brother. As a young boy, Luke asked his uncle about the folded flag on the bookshelf, and when he learned about his dad's decades of devotion to the Army and the horrors of September 11th, that's when he learned. Luke carried that memory with him and joined the ROTC as a college freshman. He graduated just last year, and I'm pleased to say he is with us today as a second lieutenant and doing very well. He's rising quickly in the infantry, preparing for Army Ranger School. He's a spitting image of his dad, they say. Luke says that every time he puts on a uniform, he feels connected to his father and to our country. It was a father he never knew. Luke, your parents are together in heaven, and they could not be prouder of the man that they have produced. They produced you. Those two great people produced you. Luke, please stand. You look good, Luke. You look good. They're looking down on you. They're very proud. This morning we recall the light of America's best and bravest and the love that they showed in their final moments. In their memory, we make a solemn pledge and a noble promise. We will honor always our great heroes. You are our heroes. There's a group of people that don't want to talk about our heroes. We will always talk about our heroes. That's the way our country is, and that's the way the people feel. We will defend the nation they served, the values they upheld, and the freedom for which they died. We will support our troops, we will protect our families, and we will preserve the American way of life for every future generation. We will build taller, grow stronger, fight harder, and soar higher. And together we will go forward as one people with one heart, one faith, one flag, and one glorious destiny under Almighty God. May God bless the memories of those who died and the heroes who fought and the soldiers who still stand watch. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of God Bless America, and remain standing for the benediction.
Bro, you know what's sad? I actually think they'll copyright me for that. So I can't. But amen, bro. Amen. You're still ripping. Again, it's been broad right now. I already gave you it's literally like 90% in the green. We noticed it right here, bro. I literally was telling you there. So keep that in mind. And yeah, so like I'm saying, for the play stuff, just look at the plays you guys are posting too. And just keep in mind that just the sad reality is our attention is very valuable. I mean, look, just Oracle, from the moment we bought to the moment we sold, we were the bottom and the top, even if you didn't gamble on the earnings. Just literally, you guys watched it live yesterday. That's one baby example. So when you guys post like news and option activity on a stock with like $500,000 in volume, like, motherfucker, we are the like, we have more value than that. Do you understand? I think some of you know that and you're acting dumb about it, or you're being really ignorant about it, and that's fine. So now you can't say you are ignorant about it. But that's what I'm saying. That's how people use it to take advantage. That's how many times have I showed you where, like, I talk about a stock, that's the biggest volume it gets all day, even if I talk shit about it. So that's why I want good information, and I expect the best out of all of you. Otherwise, we don't need you. It's very simple. This is a good community, hive mind on people who want to help each other, and that will be verified through the quality of the info. I have been copywritten by them playing those songs. I didn't know it once. They played it and it was like trumpets and shit, and I was like, how? It copyright. I got a strike for it. They removed it though, so that was good. Yeah, I like TTD. I just, unfortunately, remember last time it was at this price. We talked about it going to a much lower price still. It's a good growth name though, because even from then you doubled, tripled up for a little bit. So that, again, UPS we talked about. That one's the other one, and then Chipotle and a few others. Tesla ripping. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about Lyft. Again, even yesterday, it got brought up a lot. Why are we going up on higher inflation results? So why don't you watch the watch list? I'm gonna start yelling at you now if you guys bring up this weird propaganda, because like I'm telling you, I haven't even made a video so everybody would watch it. Literally, it's no longer about that anymore. That's why I said it's time to move on. Because it's this, any data, it's no longer about, wait a minute, why is it higher? It doesn't matter. Everybody, Wall Street has made up their mind. Even billions of dollars on bonds are willing to even move. It's very subtly, but right in front of your face. So, yeah, it's not where everyone, your cut is guaranteed. This data is formality at most if it's not a black swan. Well, yeah, watch the watch list, but I wouldn't. It's time. I made that watch list, and I've been very straightforward about it this week, for the express intent of people not getting left behind, because that's what happens on Wall Street. That's what people will do. They will flip the narrative on your head out of nowhere, randomly, and now everything you've been following for the last 8 months, like inflation and I thought this, I thought that, it's going to change. So if that changes, you don't want to be interpreting that wrong or using the old mindset for the new setup. Yeah, and that's exactly it. The jobless claims was the thing that added credibility today. Dude, Tesla's really going. And then Guild too. Guild, Pfizer, a lot of healthcare. Again, it's a pretty broad rally here, but we did chill out after that. Again, we hit another high, about 0.5%, a little bit more on the SPY. NASDAQ was just under, but Dow and Russell are both still holding 1%. Is Trump still talking? No. Yeah, NVIDIA, we could still hold up with the other ones, but big tech ain't really been a help today as much. But as long as it doesn't go down, you'll be good. Tempest again. There's a lot. I mean, the high ticker's still pretty gassing. Like, it's actually very good. Again, a little mix, small caps. There's a lot of foreign plays still moving. Again, Mexico's doing pretty decent. Where's even gold? Yeah, gold's still barely up, or about to go up. It's barely red. Staples, though, bro. Like 3M, Procter & Gamble. I wanted more out of that one. Oh, where is that? Yeah, all the weed stocks dropped the other day. Even this morning, after all of that shit. The Micron conference was in the morning. Lutnick's son on Bloomberg. Howard! That's CEP. He kind of looked like a young little Howard.
Everything he's doing. Very, very proud of him.
When it comes to some of the policies coming out of Washington, there has been a deregulatory bent to that to a certain extent. But this is particularly evident in the world of digital assets and crypto. You've made a couple of big deals already. I think you mentioned 21 Capital just a second ago, Brandon. Obviously, the deal with Adam Back, which I believe should be coming to fruition by the end of this year. And of course, you've been either an underwriter or an advisor on several crypto-related IPOs and SPACs.
This administration really cares about America. I think they're very, just like they are and we are very bullish on the digital asset industry. And you need to give these companies a regulatory framework to survive, to flourish. Under the past administration, that didn't really exist. And this administration, are smart, thoughtful, and caring, and they really believe in this industry. And so do we. So does Canner. And they're just giving them a place to thrive, and our job's to help them out.
Just yesterday, I think the OCC commissioner, the Office of Comptroller of Currency, was at a CoinDesk event, and he kind of talked about this idea of trying to sort of remove some of the barriers between, I guess, the new digital world and more traditional banks and asset managers. The idea that there was sort of a regulatory friction in the middle of that. Are you confident that maybe we will see more of a melding of traditional finance and new finance?
I mean, you'd imagine. Look, I think the digital world.
Yeah, wait, is Howard on CNBC right now too?
About, payments in seconds, frictionless. You talk about remittances.
What the fuck is this, bro?
The tokenization of real world assets.
So they can buy $7, $10 a barrel cheap.
These are
so
things
they're
that with the
buying
technology we have should happen, and I think this
selling
industry
it to
is
the rest of the world and
be
making a
hugely
buck.
successful.
So the president called nonsense on that
and
said you gotta stop that
as you
stuff.
pursue a digital asset?
Is it bad? I want to listen to the Father. I mean, I love Jesus too, but this is a weird analogy. All right.
With Switzerland, Switzerland will sort its way out over time.
Amen.
We'll see how that works out. But those are countries that are still out there. And of course, South Korea, we made a deal, but let's see if they come through with the paperwork. Japan came through with the paperwork. It's one thing to shake the president's hand. It's another thing when the pen has to meet the paper.
Would you say Japan's the best success story right now when it comes to trade agreements?
Well, Europe and Japan are just amazing. I mean, Europe, 450 million people, $20 trillion economy, agreeing we will completely open to America, including taking our cars without their sort of nonsensical rules, and they'll pay 15% to us. So that was huge. And then Japan, who was never really going to open their market. I mean, you got to remember, 94% of Japanese cars, right, are Japanese. Right? It's only 6%. And what American cars do we sell there? The Yakuza. The gangsters drive Chevys. You know what I mean? So it's culturally not there. So they gave us $550 billion to invest for the benefit of America. Build the Alaska pipeline. Build nuclear power plants.
Man.
Make your grid better.
James Cash.
Do generic antibiotics in America. So the president has this National and Economic Security Fund to make America better, because Japan was never going to really open their market. So they said, you know what? We'll buy down our tariff. So this is the power of giving the tariff and the economic policy to a businessman in the Oval Office who understands we can make America better, we can make America stronger. Tariffs are bringing in $40 billion a month, reducing our deficit. You know how much taxes we'd have to charge Americans? They have that much money?
I do wonder, and we've had this conversation, we'll continue to, in terms of the manufacturing side, because there's no doubt the tariffs are coming in. They're not causing a lot of inflation, which you said, and Sarah certainly has been articulating. But it's not clear that they're also bringing manufacturing jobs yet either. There's no measurement I've seen of late that indicates they're coming back. It may be they're coming back, and we've had this conversation. It may be robotics. It may be that we get more activity, but it's not necessarily human activity.
Okay, August 1st, we make the deal with all these countries, right? So now everybody knows their tariff. right? So now you're going to see factories get built in America at a scale that you have never seen before. Okay, more than $10 trillion of factory build coming. Right? And so there's huge amount of construction jobs. So I would say the first quarter of next year will be the best quarter of construction jobs this country's ever seen. And that's going to roll all the way through 26. So I think you're going to see GDP growth.
First quarter of 2026.
Year, over 4%.
You do, 4%. 10 trillion over what period of time?
Not the next 3 months.
Mr. Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States, during his term, we negotiate, it's got to build it while we're watching you. Saying you're going to build it in 5 years? Come on, how's that help us? So President Trump's going to get these builds now, and you're going to see GDP growth even before the factories open, because construction jobs are amazing. So I tell you what, if you're in the construction business, everybody's going to be looking at you thinking you look great.
With data centers and which are going up.
So you have data centers, but you have all these factories.
What are you talking about when you say that? What are you thinking about in terms of industries? Because
drugs.
You talk about drugs, but exports of automobiles. I mean, you've talked to Farley from Ford. I know you must have. He's very outspoken, saying, "Hey, it's not clear to me that we're going to be selling our automobiles anywhere except in the United States, given the rise of BYD and other Chinese competitors, for example, that are so aggressive."
But the West, so the Europeans are going to block Chinese cars. They're going to learn their lesson. People learn from us that you got to block their cars because those are not competitive cars. Those are government-backed cars.
Well, they're competitive on price.
I mean, remember,
because they're subsidized.
Come on,
yeah.
2 months ago, they cut their prices 34% in China for electric cars. Right? Remember, they don't have oil, so they need electric cars. They're always trying to get us to buy their cars because they don't have oil, and we'll be helping them if we do it. But the fact is, you're going to have these robotic arms. Like, we've all seen videos of a modern car plant, right? There's 3,000 Americans who work in those plants, but they're technicians who fix the robots, who fix the HVAC system, because these are cooling systems. Each time one of these factories is built, right? Could be a $10 billion factory, employs 3,000 Americans, right? And you're going to have millions. We need 5 million technically employed, technically trained and employed Americans to fill these jobs. Those Americans are sitting on the sideline. When I went to high school, we had shop class. And they got rid of shop class and made everybody go to a liberal arts college.
Hey,
those people are sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
They're sitting on the sidelines because they just don't want to be in the marketing department of this or that company. They want to work with their hands. They want to do things outside. These people are going to come back to work. You're going to see a growing U.S. workforce. And these people are going to be the arms and legs of the 5 million construction workers and the 5 million factory workers that are coming to America. You're going to see it start in 26, and it's going to be full fire in 27.
So you're not worried about not having enough people after deportations, after some of the enforcement of Hyundai workers? You think there'll be enough people to build these factories and homes and everything else?
We need vocational schools. We need community colleges. We need our state universities to start doing training. So Donald Trump is arguing with Harvard, trying to settle with Harvard. If Harvard settles with Donald Trump, you know what he's going to do with the $500 million? He's going to have Harvard build vocational schools. The Harvard Vocational School, because that's what America needs. We need to train people for the jobs
Vocational
that are coming.
School of Electricity,
robots, right? HVAC systems. You look at these fabs, these high-tech semiconductors.
There
right?
you go. I was
These
waiting
are
for the
coolest
Intel pump.
Air conditioning systems you've ever seen. I met a pipe fitter when I was out in Arizona at a $20 billion plant, and I said, you're a pipe fitter? He goes, it's Tetris, Mr. Secretary. You won't believe I've got to get these pipes in this little corner, and I got to make it all work. And he was pumped up about his job. And I said, how much did you get paid to start? He goes, when I got my first job, they paid me $75,000. I'm up to $125,000 now. He goes, and I love my job. And he was wearing like a clean room. I mean,
no, but they
these
also
are the jobs
require a
that are
certain
coming.
level of technical expertise, as you kind of point out.
They got to be
Even
trained.
welding these days. I mean, there's a high level of math and things of that nature.
Oh, they got to be trained. You got to have 6 months of training.
No
but if you realize it, if you go through that 6 months of training, there's a catcher's mitt of all these companies.
He's like,
doing
but
construction
I sit on TV and I lie to the people all day. How can you learn these things?
Is we're going to have the greatest workforce
But that seems very hard,
in the
doesn't
history
it?
of America as we train
You think,
these 5
what do
million
you
people
mean the
who are currently
youth is
sitting on
going
the
to go and
sidelines,
work
we know
for
they're
a
sitting
lot
on
of
the
money?
sidelines.
And how would they
It's time
learn
for them
these
to come out,
things?
get the right jobs, and build America.
Right. To the point
fucking
on
baffled.
Hyundai. So is the Korea trade deal in jeopardy now?
She's fucking baffled.
The Koreans
baffled at physical labor.
When the
It's
president
so
was
fucking.
right. The president came in. You remember that? He came to the White House.
Yeah, but you
Knows
gotta
something
learn
to talk about
math.
trade Because
I just
he
read
didn't
the
sign
math
piece
off the screen. I don't ever calculate it.
Is in the details always.
How will they do
Well,
it?
I think they saw the Japanese now, so there's no flexibility, right? The Japanese signed the
Palantir's
contract.
been
The
selling off
Koreans
all
either
day,
accept
and then
that deal
Oracle. That's
or
like your
pay the tariffs.
one of your
Black
40
and
drags
white.
of the
pay
day.
the tariffs or accept the deal.
But has the immigration raid led to more tension there about?
I think you're going to see
Fine.
President Trump go out and address that. He knows that to build these great factories, we need leadership of people who've built them before if he wants to do it fast. So I think he's going to make a deal with the different countries that when they want to build big here, he'll find a way to get their workers proper work visas, meaning short-term work visas, train Americans, and then head home. I think the president is very clear. I think you're going to see an ABC from him. A, you come in, B, you train Americans, and C, you head on home.
We talked about the $550 billion from Japan. You mentioned it earlier. I'll continue to. So I'm curious again, sort of specifics of how that works. I mean, you've described it in sort of broad terms, like the president wants this and they're going to do it. Is that the way the Japanese see it, and/or, you know, they're not putting $500 billion in a fund right now, so it's project by project. Give us a little more sense as to really how that money's going to be spent.
So there's an investment committee. We suggest projects. Let's say the Alaska LNG pipeline. We want to invest $100 billion and finally unleash the American oil and natural gas that we have in Alaska. $100 billion project. The president green lights it. We hire the construction people, and we send a capital call to the Japanese. They send in the money. We build the pipeline, and when the cash flow starts, we share the cash flow, the United States of America and the government of Japan, 50-50 until they get their money back. So when they get their $550 billion, you know the United States of America only made $550 billion, and then after that, it's 90-10 in favor of America.
Okay,
so what?
He likes
That's actually more detail than I was aware of.
90-10.
So almost a preferred return, and then we get the 90% after they get their money back.
Not bad.
But if you think about it from their perspective,
Which could be a long period of time, by the way.
But from their perspective, their taxpayers are not going to lose any money, because what we promised them is these are going to be national and economic security investments. Like the pipeline is money good for them. They're going to get their money back, right? When we build nuclear power plants, which we're going to build, they're going to get their money back. So it doesn't cost their taxpayers any money. They have to blow up their balance sheet.
They do.
They have to go borrow the money, but we're not borrowing any money. They're going to borrow the money.
waking up
their
2%.
grand 1% interest
Again,
rate.
healthcare has already been
although
on
they got a lot
fire.
of debt over there.
They
in
send
Japan,
us
but
the
yeah.
money. We don't have any debt at all.
Yeah,
They send us
UNH
the money,
is the
and
only
as
one
we pay
going
back
right now.
over time, their taxpayers won't cost any money, and they'll have a lower tariff. So for their country's perspective, it's a good deal. It didn't cost their taxpayers money, right? They save their taxpayers money by having a lower tariff and keeping the domestic manufacturing going. And for us, we get pipelines, we get nuclear power
When do you think
plants.
you'll announce the first deal under that? Do you know? Do you have anything in the
I had
pipeline?
meetings all day yesterday on the topic. Antibiotics, right? China makes generic antibiotics. We're building antibiotics in America. The president put out a list of 230 critical medicines. You know where we're going to build those critical medicines?
Here.
In America. So I think that's the power of the president's tariff and economic policy to make America generic antibiotics in America, nuclear power in America, fix the grid. I mean, how old is the grid? Upgrade the grid in America. Pipelines. I mean, these are.
Who's paying the tariffs? Who do you think? Because as I've been pointing out, it's not showing up in consumer prices like all the economists were worried about.
So the model is clear. 10% tariffs or less are paid by the manufacturers, the distributors, the businesses. The consumer doesn't pay, right? The consumer doesn't pay because the sellers don't want to raise their price, because if they could, they would have, but they don't want to sell less. So they eat it. Above 10%, it's shared. And it's about 60-40 towards the distributor and the manufacturer. So if you go up 5 points to 15, you'd see about 2% in the price. And above 15, of course, no one can handle that. That gets put on unless the government covers it. So what you saw in cars when we had 25%, before Europe made the deal and before Japan made their deal, the government of South Korea, Japan, and Europe covered it because they didn't want to hurt their employment. So you got to remember, these are big things. And our president is playing the big hand for America. And some of these governments play the little hand for their country's good. And that's why you're not seeing it, because our average tariff rate is not that high. Most of the world is less than 15%. And therefore, we're not going to see it, and it's not inflation. Because remember, inflation thinks, okay, I bought this tie for $30, it's going to be $33 next year and $36 the year after. Tariffs don't change your effect. It's a one and done deal, so it's not inflation.
But this 18% number we hear, you don't think is real? I mean, the effective tariff rate that many economists have come to?
Well, Japan is paying an average tariff. China's paying an average tariff of 52%, okay? But the government of China is eating most of it. So while that's an high average when you count in China, the government of China is covering most of that cost. And that's why it's not there, because the president has played his hand really, really smart. He understands it. We understand it. Right? We are working it across the world, but effectively, America has raised over $500 billion. It's going to grow to about $700 billion a year. And with growth of our economy, the president says we're going to get to $1 trillion, right? Think about that. Not paid out of our taxes.
Understood.
I mean, this is
even though
awesome.
the courts are trying to block it.
Yeah. Can I, on China, since I think we're going to run out of time with you, TikTok. Where do things stand right now, Secretary? You know, I know the ban or the exemption of the ban is set to expire soon.
Microsoft.
I always hear about whether there's going to be a deal potentially done. Can you give us any sense as to how that's moving along?
Yeah,
and
Microsoft was down earlier. Now it's back up 50.5.
They're talking about it. The president likes TikTok. You know, he did well communicating with young
watch
people
Oracle again
through TikTok, so he's
by
partial
hitting a new
to it.
high, all-time
unless
high.
it's owned by Americans and the algorithm is controlled by Americans. Because you know, eventually, that app in your phone, everything with China has a call daddy in it.
That's why there was
okay,
a bill
it's all
banning
in there. Everything you buy
daddy?
from China has a call daddy in it. You buy their chip, it's got a call daddy in it. So you know.
Define call daddy
Chinese
for me, please.
things,
What is a call daddy?
Connect you.
I think I know what it means, but I would love an explanation.
So the president knows if we're going to have TikTok here,
explain it to me.
That's got to go.
Explain it. No, explain it to me, Howard.
To go, and that's what we're talking about. If the president can get that, he's going to keep TikTok. If he can't, it's going to go dark.
We're going to lose you in a second, I think, but before you go, on SCOTUS, I'm sure you're confident SCOTUS will uphold tariffs.
Yeah,
but if they don't,
he's
are
making
you
up
making
new fucking
contingency plans on
tagline.
refunds?
I've never heard anybody say that
Look at the dissent,
in normal
right? It was
English
7-4.
speech. He
So
said,
look at the four.
call her
The
daddy.
chief
I
judge.
know the
And the
podcast.
former chief judge.
Call home
and the
dad? What the fuck
incoming
did you
chief
say?
judge and the smartest guy on the bench. 4 out of 4 of the best ruled, and what they wrote basically was you have to put foreign power, you know, the ability to deal with foreign relations in the hands of the president, who is elected by all of us. So I think it's going to be 5-4 or 6-3 in favor of the president of the United States, and we are supremely confident that the Supreme Court, I love the double supreme, is going to side with the president of the United States.
Finally, really quickly, Fannie Freddie, I know you've been working on this with Bill Pulte. Is there an update on the plans?
The model of taking the companies public, I think, has a lot of merit, and the president really likes that and supports it. Do I think it's going to be soon? I do. I think it's going to be sort of it could well be a this year thing. Now, do we want to sell a lot? No. What we want to do is show a mark to market, right? That the president shows these are assets that we, the American taxpayers, own, and look how much they're worth. Look how well they do. And what we want to do is keep the price of a home mortgage as low as mathematically possible. We don't want to take any action that raises that spread, because that makes home ownership tougher. And we want to make home ownership easier. The president wants rates lower. He wants home ownership to be more affordable, and making sure we have home ownership with the lowest mortgage rates possible means we have to make sure the agencies are powerful capable, and strong.
But that's something that you think is going to get done fairly soon.
I think sooner than people think.
Does the convert that the U.S. government owns, 79.9%, does that get converted to common at some point?
I'm going to leave the details to when we announce it. Okay. I have too much knowledge, unfortunately, so I can't really talk about too much stuff. Okay. But the answer is, I think a deal is going to be struck. I think we're going to take the company public. I think we're going to sell.
Yeah, that hit the wire. The call daddy in TikTok needs to go.
Right, but only a small percentage of these companies. And we'll show the American taxpayers. These are assets that they didn't think they owned.
Banks are starting to move a little.
We own them. The taxpayers own them. President Trump thinks about the taxpayers for value all the time. Don't give Intel $11 billion. Woo! If you want to give Intel $11 billion, get equity for it. While people think that's weird, when you guys are in the New York Stock Exchange, that's not weird. That's called capitalism.
But it's also picking winners and losers from the government.
Well, why did the Biden administration gave Intel $11 billion? I didn't wake up in the morning and say, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to give Intel $11 billion. Get lost. We'd have never done the deal. But if there's a contract that says the U.S. government is giving
this was not our idea from the beginning.
Trump and I are going to go out there and say, let's get value for the American
We would have bought NVIDIA.
They're not going to build more chips in America for that $11 billion. Let's just get equity for it, so at least America's taken care of and balanced. It's
got a national security, obviously.
That was a good one.
I mean, that's the key point.
You want Intel to do well.
But why the 15% on the NVIDIA chip sales in China? Since we're talking about this, that one I don't quite follow.
Well,
why show the PowerPoint. You destroyed our reporter.
Intel.
So the president, so NVIDIA, right, comes to see the president, says, I'd like to sell these chips in China.
Bonds are still going,
they are
open
H20
door.
Chips, so they're chips that, this is like right on the line, right? They're not our best chips, they're not our second best, they're not our third best. We've been through that lots of times. So
they didn't like you said that.
So they don't like that. But should they buy it or shouldn't they buy it? That's up to the president. It's really on the line. And he said, okay, I don't have to agree, or I can agree. What's in it for the American taxpayer? I know what's in it for you. If we say yes, you'll sell more chips. But what's in it for the American taxpayer? Why should we agree? Because, if the equities are in the balance, fine, we won't sell it. But if you want us to sell it, can the American taxpayer go along with it if it's right on that border? And they talked about it and they settled on 15%. So people say, well, why is that an okay thing? I don't know. I was in the room. It seemed really, really reasonable to me. We won't sell it, or if you help the American taxpayer a little, you know what?
You understand why some other companies say that's pay to play, right?
I mean, it's like, I want to get my merger done. Well, all right. I mean, you could make the same argument, couldn't you, Secretary?
I understand you can make all sorts of arguments, but Donald Trump is a real businessman, and he's doing it rationally and reasonably. Every one of those things. I'll give you the last example. The golden share, right?
U.S. Steel. Yeah.
Of U.S. Steel. So they promised, Nippon Steel promised 12 things. And once they buy the company, how are you going to enforce those 12 things? So we said, okay, our board member is just going to enforce those 12 things, right? They said they're going to close one of the plants that's in one of those 12 things. How about that? And guess what? Our board member just woke up, had a call with the CEO, and said, I don't think so. I mean, think about that. And then they were like technical, oh no, we're going to keep the employees. It was nonsense. The idea of making people live to what they say is a smart way to do it, because otherwise, once a merger is a merger.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No say.
No say. But we have that say. Donald Trump enforced it, and it's fun working for him. It's really fun.
The Secretary of Deal Making, we should call you. Howard Lutnick, thank you very much. Meaningful to have you on today, and we got through a lot of your portfolio, so thank you for staying with us and taking all the questions. That is the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick.
Meanwhile,
Still to come this morning, a fresh read on housing and the impact of potential rate cuts.
Good to know. There's apparently another deal in the pipeline, and then he was talking about Switzerland. There's a lot to unpack in that one. So it seems like it hinted at some new stuff and then just kind of recapping. It's been a while since you remember in the beginning of the year, Lutnick was just moving the market. Everybody was, because there was new policy. So if we could get a new announcement, that'd be great. But if not, then there you have it. And then, UNH is climbing, a couple of other health cares, but It's the same setup, man, all day here. You literally, it's about 85% green on the NASDAQ 100. There's only one name red on the Dow. It is Disney, and that might go green. And then there's 50 names red on the SPY. So yeah, we noticed it in the morning there. I positioned with the conference plays, and then we had a lot of other stuff there on the table, but pretty much it's kind of been one direction here from the AM. Not bad, my friend. So good morning. It's only 7:40, bro. So it's still super early, and SPY's already up 1%, almost 0.7. Dow and Russell, that's the one, up there by a quarter. You got, again, banks keep going. I just called that one out there. Equal weight's already up 1%. You're closer to 6,600 than you are 6,500. So I remember that 6,600 number sounded crazy at one point earlier this year, but you're right there. I can't believe it. So yeah, guess what? Even if you drop like 100 points, you'll be at the other day's high. Do you understand that? So do you get like the whole melt up? And then remember, you have rate cuts next week. This is what I was trying to tell you guys. You know, think about it. It's time to move on. I mean, you just moved up 100 fucking points. And then you have the event everyone's going to be hyping up next week. Ta-da! So yeah. It's still mad early even for the day. UNH is a blessing? No, it's only a blessing if you make somebody feel bad about it. Right? Oh, what? Ah, no! Oh, no! We are very high. Open door is huge. My brother, I've seen you talk a lot of shit about Trump, so please don't pump open doors. Thank you. Again, you guys all work for me. Like, as a reminder, I have very, very good open door contracts. And I think all the Chads, if they have that play, they are, I think $5 in the money with 2 years of time. So you guys work for us, but I don't like pumpers. So thank you. Chadvick's climbing. Why don't you tell me about Intel not moving again? How about that? Your last 48 hours, you've told me, man. Just tell me about that. Tell me about Intel not moving. Complain about it again, please. I would love to hear it. And another, bro, volume's even coming in. There you go. Well, rate cuts are pricing in right now, and there might be more stuff that's not priced into it. Like we said, like today, the jobless claims, the more credible things become, the more bonds will reprice, and then vice versa. That if anything shows non-credible, you're gonna get smashed. So it's an interesting time, but it was kind of easy if you were paying attention. Oh, crowd's raking up. You support Trump not trying to pump. I know. It was ironic. That's all. I've seen you be very, very critical towards things that don't matter for what we do here. And then something directly related to pumping, you would not even be critical towards what you say. So maybe you weren't pumping, but yeah, maybe apply the same criticality to the things that matter. Equally, everything's disgusting. Dude, I started closing puts in the morning because I was like, damn. It started really, really strong. It didn't start that way, but like right after here, it just really started to take off. Well, yeah, credibility will breed confidence, but just don't underestimate. A lot of people hammered home a message that whatever Powell does would be uncredible because of Trump. So remember that, like, you know, the whole Fed independence That's fighting credibility. That every time you heard them talk about Fed independence, they were trying to hammer home the lack of credibility. So that's why as the things start to shift credible, that becomes a lot harder to defend. So that's, and then again, Wall Street has already made a lot of money on that downside play. And if it really gets close to it to avoid the other front run, yeah, they might just do it at the last second. And again, people were talking about it. I was talking about it leading into this week. And now, before you know it, I mean, that's it. One more day. And then tomorrow, or then next week, 1-2 days. And then boom, Powell. And there's your rate cut. People are going to describe it as the second or the first rate cut. But don't forget, it's the second one. It's truly fascinating. Let me see. UNH still going. I won't even make it. Okay, I had an old conference play came up, crowd, I just sold it. Fig, APLD I've been seeing a lot. CNC, the leaps are going crazy on CNC. Yeah, what's going on with that? Baba. Editas. We haven't heard anything about Kenview, huh? Remember the whole Tylenol thing? I have two CNs. I wanted UNH because these are the two healthcare poppers today. Healthcare is just doing good, but I think they're benefiting off of these two. But yeah, UNH premiums are going crazy. I just noticed the CNCs. A couple crypto plays are moving, and then we still got a couple conference movers, but not as active today. I haven't heard much about them yet, or I haven't seen as many pops. But then again, a lot of things. Oh, speak of the devil, Delta. We're seeing very strong corporate demand in the fall. Morgan Stanley conference. So Delta's talking now. So okay, maybe we're just fucking early, bro. It's only 10:50. It feels so late, but it's so early. Yeah, airlines. See, look, right in front of you. Oh man, look at that was before the candle even hit. All of the airlines are going though, but like I'm telling you, those conferences, maybe we're just getting slower into it. But yeah, there you have it. Tesla 2. Qualcomm. Bro, UNH, that was fire. It sucks. The one I was saying, I gave a plan even for another short term. If you were able to hit it, it worked. But near the monies were better than cheapies for now. But yeah, that one's still going. Oh, I like it. I have a couple plays. I just haven't monetized them yet. They're up, but I don't want to sell them yet. Just different stocks. Took a couple today, and then we closed some of those puts. Okay. Yeah, last year was a jumbo cut. That's the next. That's what you should be looking at right now. Is how many? The next set of data. It's not going to be about why are we rate cuts this or that. It's going to be what set of data or what happens that either adds another cut or doesn't. But that path forward, how soon you get another cut and how big it is, that's what's going to really drive shit. And notice the bonds, you guys. There is a big bond auction coming up today. The first two were good this week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. You wouldn't have thought anything of the last rate cut before the election if it wasn't for me, or how they skipped the primaries. Hey man, God is good. I hope it educated y'all. I don't know if it's knowing these things, I don't know if it helps you all the time. Or in the moment, it'll seem very difficult. But yeah, man, but that's why too, bro. I don't know. I think the last couple days, I don't know. Do you guys understand some of my behavior? For real though. And like, that's why, man, I think a lot of people even are having realizations I had a few months ago, sadly. But it's sad, bro. It's sad, and that's why, bro, we really need to change. And I hope everybody's aware of the things that are important. Yeah, bro, UN unch. I'm mad though. There's the closer to the money ones would have done way better. Couple moving pieces right now. It's weird. Nvidia, Microsoft, and then you just, again, 90% of the market, 80% is in the green. VW taps Goldman for sale of 5 billion unit. Hilton, I think Hyatt, I think they're at a conference. Because Booking is showing up later today. Booking's going to be near the close. Like, so some of these conferences, like KIRK was supposed to be after the bell yesterday, but that started popping and running right before. So that could happen with travel. Like, travel names might be on the list. All right, now the UNHs are starting to move, the cheapies. GEV. September is doing good so far. I mean, we'll find out. You remember, seasonality is something people keep bringing up. But we also, again, you have a rate cut coming next week. You still got buybacks. I don't think it's till like the end of September, beginning of October. That's when the seasonality will hit harder. Or you will start to hear things like tax loss selling. That starts to come up around this time. But generally, as we've been discussing, you know, what comes after the rate cut is important, and now, like policy, real movers, we need something new, something that will be actually changing, you know, give us something material. But we haven't had that yet. Yeah, you'll get a Santa rally comments very soon as well, too. Like right around Thanksgiving, a little bit before. It's almost Thanksgiving! Brazil says China signaled the restart of chicken imports soon. Okay, there's Disney in the low. That's the only name on the Dow that's red. But again, last like 20 minutes, bonds have came down. SPY stopped hitting a high. I mean, it's been a pretty solid day, but here we are. Blitza. ULS. LMT 3M. Fannie, Freddie. I don't know if Google's red. Yeah, they just took a candle. Check any of the other big techs, but I don't see a headline on Google. German defense minister, number of aircraft deployed is oh, I thought that was related to Paul. I was like, we got another one. PayPal on the high. McDonald's too. Again, Walmart's going to be at a conference later today. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Real Cult News on Twitter. And I'll see you in a little bit.
The assault should concern everyone. In a minute.
Oh man, they took my propaganda. No, you want me? I'm gonna show you something instead. I'll show you the weirdest video, bro. What I'm about to show you, bro. Oh man. You'll see, bro. You'll see. Are you ready? I don't know if you guys are ready for this. No. This is gonna be your camera. No, this is it's legal, yeah. I think we should put the guy. I think this guy needs to be investigated immediately. Okay, I think this guy, dude. And like, listen, bro. If I ever had anything similar happen and I start answering like this, just put me in jail, bro. Okay, just arrest my ass. All right, are you ready? Here it is.
So you had complaints from one programmer who said you guys were basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy. He committed suicide.
A great tragedy.
Do you think he committed suicide?
Terrible I really attitude. Do.
Have you looked?
This was like a friend of mine. This is like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this is someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time trying to, read everything I could, as I'm sure you and others did too, about what happened. It looks like a suicide to me.
Why does it look like a suicide?
It was a gun he had purchased. It was this is like gruesome to talk about, but I read the whole medical record. Does it not look like one to you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle, of course. The surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back from a vacation with his friends on Catalina Island. No indication at all that he was suicidal, no note, and no behavior. He had just spoken to a family member on the phone, and then he's found dead with blood in multiple rooms. So that's impossible. Seems really obvious he was murdered. Have you talked to the authorities about it?
I have not talked to the authorities about it.
And his mother claims he was murdered on your orders.
Do you believe that?
I'm asking.
I mean, you just said it, so do you believe that?
I think that it is worth looking into, and if a guy comes out and accuses your company of committing crimes, I have no idea if that's true or not, of course, and then is found killed and there are signs of a struggle, I don't think it's worth dismissing it. I don't think we should say, well, he killed himself when there's no evidence that the guy was depressed at all. I think, and if he was your friend, I would think you would want to speak to his mom or...
I did offer, she didn't want to.
So, do you feel that, when people look at that and they're like, it's possible that happened, do you feel that that reflects the worries they have about what's happening here? Like, people are afraid that this is like...
I haven't done too many interviews where I've been accused of like...
Oh, I'm not accusing you at all. I'm just saying his mother says that, I don't think a fair read of the evidence suggests suicide at all. I mean, I just don't see that at all. And I also don't understand why the authorities, when there's signs of a struggle and blood in 2 rooms on a suicide, like how does that actually happen? I don't understand how the authorities could just kind of dismiss that as a suicide. I think it's weird.
You understand how this sounds like an accusation?
Of course. And I certainly, let me just be clear once again, not accusing you of any wrongdoing, but I think it's...
Oh, I'm accusing him now? What
and
the
I don't
fuck?
understand why the city of San Francisco
You don't have
has
to, Tucker.
refused
I got you.
investigate it beyond
What
just
the
calling it
fuck,
a suicide.
Sam?
I mean, I think they looked into it.
He looked into it?
More than
this
once.
guy did. The homeboy dies. And he's like, yeah, I read about it. Wait, what? What the fuck you mean? What do you mean you read about it? Yeah, it's super sad. I read it. It was a great tragedy. What the fuck you mean? Dude. You think he talks well? I don't think he talks well enough. I think he talked too much. Dude, what? The whole just like all of the information, like, well, yeah, and then no, his mom didn't want to talk to me. Dog, nah, hold up. He's like, yeah, tragedy. I don't know. You tell me. Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, that one, that was a surpriser. Said, okay, Sam. I mean, hey, the payment on a Pagani is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that just, if you get in the way of that Pagani payment, I'm just saying, you know, that's why. Just seek the Lord first, you guys. Seek the Lord first. Yeah, Delta is a conference. We just had that. Oof, they got murked. The main cabin is still negative, says executive. You've become, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I'm scared I called his brother. I'm like, oh, damn it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Philip Morris, Umana, another great day for the long term. Puma won't stay in portfolio forever, but Artemis has time to wait for Puma's turnaround, says new CEO. Said, what a great tragedy. I like words too much, you guys. That's why I'm like, wait, what? I hope it was a misspeak, but I'm like, what the fuck you mean a great tragedy? That phrase sounds weird to me now. I don't like it when people say a great tragedy. I think because it's a tragedy. Most tragedies are pretty large in scale, which makes it tragic. But yeah. Well, I guess it doesn't have to have scale to be tragic, but... Alright, speak of the devil, Oklo on the high. And then that's it, too, part of Oracle. You guys realize, like, part of the Oracle deal, $300 billion of that $500 billion is supposed to come from the company that burns cash and the CEO drives a Pagani? Do you understand that? It's all in the future. So... yeah. I don't know. All right, dude. Delta and then UNH. I'm mad. We should have got a better UNH play. the double dip one I told you to watch for, that was the one you should have taken. Blah, blah. Seeing corporate travel demand, likely banking, financial, Delta still talking. Yeah, Sam drives a Pagani. That's it. Sam is just a weird figure now. Sam just does a lot of things that he'll say things, and then what he does is just not, it doesn't line up. But since he speaks in such a soft voice, you guys all believe him. That's it. He said, it's not about money. No. And then he buys a Pagani. It's never about money, but it's a nonprofit. Literally removes the nonprofit. It's about making it open source for everybody. Literally, companies called open and closes it. It literally devalues every employee so that it does not fall under the standards of not being a nonprofit anymore. So yeah, but he just says it's so cute. You guys believe him? That's it. He just, unfortunately. Pinduo Duo on the high. Do you believe that? Sounds like you're accusing me. Abercrombie's been dropping for like an hour. Yeah, now it's really dumping. And then Eli Lilly on the high. I still have that contract. It was down earlier. But Delta's getting murked. So again, they just said main cabin, like non-commercial activity is lower. Or still in the negative. You want to buy machinery companies based on the physical AI? That's not a bad strategy. We just don't know when. So that's, I agree with you. And like I said, I kind of, I have an idea of what's going to happen in the future, but I just don't know when it's going to materialize. And that's a big when, dude. So like some of this stuff I believe with AI, what it'll affect, it could happen in 5 months or it could happen in 50 years. I just don't know. Yeah, especially, yeah, the talk from yesterday, which I believe in it. And I am thinking about it and planning around it, but you gotta be careful of the timing, and you have to think about the timing and think longevity. You know, that's why being a long-term investor in a world of AI is a great thing, motherfuckers. Oh, I hope you feel me. Which again, a short-sighted motherfucker won't understand this. But like right now, like imagine all my theories I've given you. You want to be a long-term investor. Trust me. You don't exactly in the situation where it's like, you know, it could borderline change the damn world and be very pivotal, like internet, cloud, social media type shit, you know, at the next turning. Yeah, you want to be a long-term investor. Again, I made a fortune off of Bitcoin, Amazon, Meta, Netflix, Google, you name it. It didn't happen in a month. It was by being early and holding throughout all of it, because that's literally what happened. Again, that's why you guys ask me about Bitcoin. I bought it at $300 and held it the whole time. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I'm not flexing. I'm trying to show you that the long-term investor, you have an advantage when it comes to the future. So especially if you're really locked in and you are involved in the world and business and the next real technological developments, you really get the fruit with time off of that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you're thinking correctly, but don't just make sure your time frames are matched up with your ideas, because my ideas are very long out. And that's what I'm saying. I'm positioned in understanding of it could be 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years, 50 years. I will be ready for that no matter what. You will be too, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's where it's like technology plus long-term investing is a great thing. HD and Lowe's are both still going. Tesla keeps running. SPY's about to go up again. It's a little slower than earlier. You're not getting like, even though you're melting up, you're not getting like crazy premium moves. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, not bad. Yeah, it's good to have those accounts, but comprehension. So just because you have 2 accounts, I don't think it's wise to make a bad decision. You know, that's pigeonholed. Don't pigeonhole the timing. And that's what I'm saying, because this is what fucked people up last time. You guys don't remember what happened with inflation? Let's get rich off of inflation. If you really listened, I made you a fortune. And there was a point, though, after like 2021, 2022, it started getting to the point where we were buying things for inflation, but after a certain point, you were losing. You cannot just buy off of the idea in this modern world. This is actually a modern phenomenon. I could write a fucking book on this shit. I think it's the modern front run, to be honest with you. That's what I've noticed different in my career, is that you just live in a different world of front running. So that's why, like, you could be right on the idea, but just like you saw with everybody in inflation, if you pile into the right asset at the wrong time, you're going to get washed. It doesn't matter even if stagflation plays out or inflation. Why? Because people bought the inflation price with a forward multiple on inflation, which is insanity. Because although it would have made sense at other times, it's like, no, you straight up, like, it's you know, that you bought really, really high. So what are you expecting? That's why, too, if you buy too early on some of these ideas, or you're just buying to buy it, and even if you know that, you know, we need a little bit more, the last thing you want is dead money for a couple of years where you could have either maximized it or put it in the right area. So understand the idea that you're investing in. The comprehension is what I think is going to make you a lot of money when it's all said and done. Just because, remember, you have money now. When you use it, what are you going to do anyways? I fucking love this. Like, have you guys ever thought about it? Like, think about all the, you know, I even got a couple emails the other day, yesterday. They're like, I just got $50,000. I've been holding $100,000. I feel like I need to do something, right? Go, my brother. Go. Buy whatever you want today, right? Literally. Go buy whatever it is you think it is now. What are you going to do after you buy it? You are then going to fucking wait. So again, do you guys understand the long term? So especially if you're like telling me long term, just remember, that's our next step. You get what I'm saying? So even if you take all of that money, blow your load, use all the ammo, you're still going to wait. The time is still, the sun must set, and the sun must come back up again. And you're going to keep doing that until you get to the point where you could, again, pull the fruit off of the tree and actually harvest it. But you see what I'm saying? You got a bunch of seeds right now. Even if you put them in the ground, you're going to wait, dude. No matter what. And there you go. So why are you in such a rush? And that's why I'm saying, it's not even rush and like just wait, you'll see it when it's there. But you don't want to be in the position where you're not, like, again, just you have the idea and you're like, I like this idea. Let me put the money on the idea. But what are you going to do after that? You're going to wait. You're still going to sit there. And if it goes lower, you could have got more. And then if it goes higher, you were like, oh, or you might even want to buy more. But that's what you're going to have to think about. And if you could think about it now, I think you'll be better off. You could plan for it now, you'll be better off. GE Vernova proceeds for proficiency sale can be invested in grid software. That's Morgan Stanley conference. SPY hitting a new high. High ticker is almost fully gassed out right now. Hyundai delays Georgia battery plant after construction raid. Oh, man. Oh shit, I am. Yeah, there's a Google headline. They're saying OpenAI Meta face FTC inquiry on chatbot. That could have been the headline there. I was saying, Deco, you did 1,900 yards I know about in the last 2 weeks, man. I said, keep it up. I was talking the whole time. I was. Yeah, but I think that headline was for Google, but yeah, you just did a major rip, dude. Not major, but like considering you're already up a lot, and then 3 big candles, like I'm saying, even on bad news, you just went from one level to the next. You went from 70s to 80s on just 3 minutes. So you just leaped to the next level. Again, all these levels, I'm just guessing after you break all-time highs, but it kind of follows a computer program. But yeah, you just skipped that one. Bobo. Dude, it's still mad early. You guys realize 9 minutes till Euro close? Yuri I was running earlier. Still mad early. Silver back to 42. Oh, I know, man. I know. Yeah, I remember Euro, they had ECB today. Beautiful. You'd love my thoughts on it. I'm not doing any more real estate thoughts anymore. So I will eventually, but for now, you're gonna have to use everything I've taught you. Dude, silver. Again, someone asked yesterday about commodities, what it's sniffing out or why it's doing that. That's the part that's weird, because last time commodities went up, last time you saw silver go up this much, they tried to squeeze the ETF, but in general, it's just like, it feels less dramatic than last time. Last time you had commodities go up, it felt way more inflationary. This time, you don't feel it the same way, even though it's like substantial. But that's what kind of makes it concerning. There's silver on the high. Zillow came back up too. They dumped earlier. It's all cushion, or the economy is slowing down so you don't feel it the same way. So last time it was inflation because the economy was hot, or maybe the economy has been slowing down. So even though the commodities skyrocket, it doesn't impact the same. But then again, many metrics show the economy is good. So this is what makes me believe that we're still in this weird oversupplied Biden economy. And there's so much fucking money around that it doesn't really, you won't see it the same way. There, a lot of dollars can absorb a lot of things, both good and bad. Yeah, exactly. Last time, bro, it was only at $20, $30, and it was more aggressive, and you felt the impact. But 30 to 45 or 42, you felt nothing. Zero impact. But that's weird. That's even gold. Gold is up 30% on the year. Something ridiculous. Nvidia nosediving, so is Am Dizzle, but I don't know what he thinks. Yeah, it's kind of big. It's not the full chart, but he took like $1 drop and pop on NVIDIA, and then AMD in tandem. AMD not as big. Couple names on the high: Amazon, Open Door, Telsa, JD or TD, and then Zillow. They went red to green earlier. Yeah, I see the vision, but it was $1. Make people gain trust on the dollar again. My brother in Christ, the people never lost trust in the dollar. They wanted you to think that. You don't remember what I was telling you? I think I said it in May. Baidu and Baba adopt their own AI chips. Watch if it pops it. Last week or this week, we started with the Baba chip news. That was 8%. So that's either new or a reiteration. Let's see what it does. But yeah, you guys don't remember what I told you? It was deep in April, early May. I showed you a chart of the dollar versus the NASDAQ. And again, everybody on the TV and the media, Bloomberg to CNBC, they were always playing and bringing on really rich people to tell you how nobody wants the dollar anymore and how you should lose faith in the dollar because of Donald Trump. But if you paid attention, there was a moment where Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, especially AI chip names, they started really running and were holding up better. Even Netflix didn't get affected at all by the tariffs and all that shit, right? So then what ended up happening, I explained the logic. Everybody started to get really bullish on America Tech all of a sudden. And they were contradicting themselves live on TV every day. They would go on and say, we don't trust the dollar. We don't trust Donald Trump in America. But then they would tell you how their whole portfolio is NVIDIA and how they want to buy more American tech. Didn't matter if they were American, Japanese, Korean, you name it, all over the globe. And I just pointed out the contradiction because, my brother, you can't buy any United States tech without the dollar. You don't get to buy NVIDIA stock in euros. You can't buy NVIDIA stock in pounds. You can't buy it in rubles. You can only buy NVIDIA stock in United States dollars. So every time they tell you not to trust the dollar, but to trust American tech, it literally makes 0 sense at all. Ta-da! So yeah, nobody ever lost faith in the dollar. You probably got tricked. That's what's been happening. You've been traveling. It's not an open pump message. You want to hear my thoughts on open? Yeah, I'm $5 in the money. I only made one play several months ago, and I'm $5 in the money. And any Chads on the stream alert who got that play are too. Those are my thoughts on it. So thank you for bringing it up. You guys help every moment you do that. I didn't think you wanted to make me that rich, but you do. So thank you. But yes, that's my thoughts. I have $5 per share. $5 on one. I think the other one's like $3 per share. In the money with 2 years of time. 2 years of time. So you either have to bring this stock to zero or you're going to fucking make me so rich in every other Chad. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. But God gets the glory. I think these are trash, but like I'm saying, if you're early and all that, but that's the shit I don't want to promote to you guys. Because like I said, I like gambling and I'm pretty good at it, but I don't want to expose you guys to that. Sadly, people expose you to this dog shit later, and this is what happens. You're really just enriching the people who went early, and you guys don't realize it yet. So yeah, everybody telling you open door, just ask the stream alerts. I'm fucking we're all in the money. Deep in the money with time. So it's not, and they were cheap. So everything is just, it's bullshit. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel. But do you guys see what I'm saying though? Because I brought it up. I brought it up one time. I brought it up on the watch list. I told you guys I had a play. You don't remember? I brought it up on the watch list. I explained it and I said go with time, and that's it. There was a time to play it and a time to talk about it. Everybody else after that point is pumping their bag. Why can't people realize this? That's what I'm saying. That's why it's bothering when people bring up stocks at the worst time possible. You know? Because we brought it up at a good time. A time that would have doubled, tripled, 10x your money. Now I think you have more to lose right now. So yeah, and then again, I look like the bad guy, but like I'm making a fucking bag off this shit. And anybody who just listened early is. You see what I'm saying? So I hope this wises you guys up, but every time open door, I will tell you on my gains if you would like to know about it. You guys are pumping for me. Do you see that? Y'all thought I was being a dickhead in the beginning. I said you guys work for me. I don't, that's it. And then they'll try to get me to pump stuff, and I told you, we're the value. That's it. We start talking about, again, look at the IPOs, bro. They want us. But that's what I was telling. I was like, dude, you're either going to pump or you're going to make the pumpers work for you. So make your choice. And like I'm saying, you get a long-term, this is a very evil game, and you see how they're playing this shit. Super late, too, bro. Yeah. Crazy. Oh yeah, man. There's always play opportunities, but the part everybody needs, you have to get a long-term first. That's it. The man who only looks to make money off plays never makes money off plays. Y'all don't get it? That's it. Come to me when you're ready to let go of it. Then that will be the moment we'll receive it all. Until you could value yourself first and say, I'm going to go long-term, 10%, understand the game, that will set you up. That's going to free your mind. That's going to allow you to make good decisions. You'll understand the options. But again, like I told you, man, you'll see people every day. We hear the good stuff and they'll say, leave it out. Just give me the option. Be wise, my friends. All right, man, another one. Now you got nuclear playing along. NVIDIA came back up. Open doors. Wicked. Again, I hope you guys, do you see what I'm saying though? I don't want to pump the play I'm up 1,000% on, so, but they want to. God bless America. Oh, where's Unch? Okay, let me see if that Frogger could set up. I'd like it. No. Yeah. Well, no. I want you guys to understand it though, because do you see what happens with like open doors? Is that some of you will let this frustrate you. That's what I'm saying. All of this stuff causes division. Because then you have a small group, just like the hymns, just like those kavas. You have this small group of people, they go in, they buy it, then they pump it, and then it goes and does all this stuff, and it creates division. Because then you're going to get mad at somebody, then you're like, oh, this, that. It plays this whole little game. That's why I'm like, it's truly fascinating when you look at how it plays. Oh, LMT. Woo! Decent pop. That's conference. Let's see where it's at. But you see how it leads to division, though. It leads to argument. It leads to disagreement. And then you get mad that you missed out. Or then you get mad that the motherfucker told you about it at $7 instead of $1. You see what I'm saying? It's a lose-lose no matter what. That's why, like, we make money and you can, but it's not even that, like, yeah, it's bullshit, bro. So I don't know. I hope you guys understand and understand how important your future is. Alright, I made LMT free. That was one of my conference plays in the morning. They just went over 100. No, I would not buy Kava. But you should watch the watch list. We've talked about some good plays. I think we did talk about Kava. There's one I like a little more than Kava, which has a similar down 50. Unch, unch, unch. Fast? No, on the low. Oh, they're getting rocketed. Yo, check Fast. That has to either be conference or short report. Shane is kind of shitty. I'm not going to play it, but that's dropping now at 1.5. There should be a watch list tonight, but please watch the one for this week. I think it's very critical. It's actually disgusting, bro. The last watch list. Because like I'm telling you, just go look at the last couple days. You're tuning in. Somber vibes. I mean, I can't lie, man. It's a pretty heavy day. 9/11 is already a big day, and what it means, and the troops and the people that led to lives lost for all the wars it created and everything. And then Charlie. So yeah, I think there's no denying it. But at the end of the day, we're still working, and you should too. But I have so much and so little to say about it, and all I have is one big part of what I can say is you guys have saw me go absolutely insane from the end of last year, right? You saw me pivot, flip hardcore to Trump, and do a lot of crazy shit, bro. I fucking hope you see why. That's why I have nothing to say. I've been ahead of this. I've been ahead of it. And it's just sad. That's why. I'm not like, dude, it's getting bad. I don't want to be right anymore. Dude, I don't, I've really, I get it now. It's so tragic, bro. And the shit that I see in my head in advance that keeps coming true is terrifying. That's what it is. And if you think I'm crazy, great. I think I see a lot of shit happen. And I've been very, very right about things. And that breaks my heart. Because you get what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I just want change, bro. For real. Real change for all of you. And you're all important. I've been saying that. I've been telling you. And I said, watch what you're taking in. All of it. They're just demon. It's very dark. So yeah, but it's not even, I don't know. I wouldn't even call it somber, brother. Like I'm saying, I'm more, I'm angry. I don't even, this is the anger you've never seen out of me. None of you have. That's why I have nothing to say. I'm very like, oh, you have no idea. And I don't want to, because that's why. It's unwise, and I think this is a moment where I'm grateful I have the market, bro. You have no idea. I'm glad we could focus on it for a little. But in due time. But no, I don't like this shit. That's so funny. You praise God, bro. Bradley, fuck you, Bradley, okay? Fuck you, Bradley. Let me be kind of somber, but I can't, because I smiled. You fucking the peach! Hold on! Oh, thank you. Thank you, my. See, I can't. I smile, bro. I'm not even like, I'm all like serious. I see the peach and I smile. I'm like, oh, fuck. So thank you, Bradley. Thank you, my brother. Amen, bro. So rejoice, brothers. Rejoice. Always. 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 See, we have some great people around us, man. We got the peach. The peach goes every day. Consistency. So amen, baby. Amen. I love it. I love it, bro. I can't believe me, bro. Even the moments that aren't, the happiest. I'll always have my peach moment and what it means for us, bro. And that's why it genuinely just made me smile. So thank you and amen, bro. Amen. That's funny. Amen, bro. Yeah, consistency is the light in the dark. It's ironic. It's funny. It really is funny. Lockheed does not expect additional charges on classified aeronautics, missile, and fire control programs. Or? Fannie and Freddie's going up right now. And the Peach, the LMTs came back down to 30%. I got 100 on that sell. You know, Boeing's at the conference, Bradley. You know that? So I'm waiting for it. But Boeing, they're at the conference today too. So let's see. Hey man, we needed that Peach, bro. Amen. Plane carrying detained workers leaves Atlanta. And then GDX, a couple of others. Should you buy Fannie Mae for your kid? Why? Where were you, bro? I think you were here. Because remember I made a comment about your picture, and then you were like, no, Josh, it's not like that. Yeah, so I think you were here, but I mean, just why didn't you buy it 50% ago? Because we talked about this play from the beginning of the year, and then I missed out on it. And then I kept missing out on it. I said, I can't buy it that high. And then there was a big update, and I said, okay, that changed something, and we'll do it. That was like the last call to a degree, because we're up 50%. So the last time you saw me buy Fannie Mae on shares, we went up 50%. And we're still there. That's why I'm saying, although you have the right idea, the timing now is a little bit off. Or I'm wondering why, what has changed to the point of not wanting it, 50% lower. Why now? Okay, I need to go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram, at the Trading Fraternity. Real Coat News on Twitter. God bless America. Thank you, veterans. Thank you, Bradley Frizzle. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, all the Chads who have ride. You know that? God bless y'all. I already said thank you to y'all in the moment because it meant a lot to me and it was really important. But y'all are dope. You know that? Some of y'all just, God bless. May the Lord bless you further. And may you see what he's already given you. Because I think you have a good treasury in store, brother. All right. Now, here's some soft-speaking propaganda.
$3 million in annual recurring revenue. Yeah. Released Replit Agent 1 that sent us immediately to $9 million. But by the end of the year, we were about $9 or $10 million. And then from there until July, we 15x to $150 million ARR. Agent V2 made it so that you can go from the agent, you can give it an idea, it will work for 2 minutes and come back to you with questions, or it'll struggle. V2 could work for 20 minutes. Now V3 could work for 200 minutes. And it's really becoming like your own programmer. You don't have to go hire a programmer off the market. You can just go to Replit, put in your idea, and Replit will work like a teammate.
But you are hiring, and in many ways that's why you've raised the funds, Amjad. I'm going to make it personal if you don't mind, but knowing your story of coming here to the United States back in, 2012, the fact that you came to New York, I just spoke with the governor, Kathy Hochul of New York, who's worried about the access of talent for building technology here in New York, and I'm sure it's something you think about on the West Coast. Can you get the talent you need, particularly from outside of the United States?
I think there's a lot of talent here in the United States still. I think the salaries are getting quite absurd because of the funding that's going in AI. But I think we should obviously immigration is still going to be very important to getting the best and the brightest people from all over the world to America. But also there's a lot of local talent here, and I think Replit's also mission is to teach people those skills. So Replit has always been used in schools and universities, and it's the best time ever if you're a student to start learning how to make software. It's so easy. You can make your first piece of software in a matter of like 15 to 20 minutes. And so I think we're going to see an explosion of talent and people coming on the market, being able to not just code, but use ChatGPT, use Midjourney, be able to design, be able to create videos. I think it's an amazing time for a student to be building a broad set of skills, and I don't think we're going to have a talent problem.
Really appreciate that answer. Thank you, Amjad Masad. As Replit CEO and founder, congratulations on the raise. Talking of the New York governor, Kathy Hochul, well, she wants to make sure that New York is a destination of choice for AI investments and innovation, not just talent. We sat down with her yesterday at the Primary Summit to discuss her vision on how to balance that with AI safety. This is as she's set to review Responsible AI Safety and Education Act. It's currently on her desk. Take a listen.
We have been leaders in protecting our children in particular from AI chatbots and making sure that when someone starts to talk about suicidal thoughts, that the platform will provide them resources and support, and just trying to find different ways, because this is the whole new frontier, right? It's hard to know what the challenges and the problems are going to be when you're just starting out, but we have to be that forward thinking. I have to protect New Yorkers as well as our businesses, but let the tech industry know this is the place you want to be. We're innovative, we're smart, we have the talent, and I'll make sure we break down barriers to your success.
Is there a worry from those foundational LLM creators, the likes of OpenAI, about that regulation?
Well, I think people prefer to have a federal regulation. I mean, think about the responsibility of the federal government. I mean, these companies don't know boundaries. I mean, they're all over the planet. So it's hard when one state has a set of rules, another state does, another state. I don't think that's a model for inspiring innovation, but a lot of companies should be adopting these internal controls themselves. That's always one step they can take to assure people in government that they've done what is necessary. But in the absence of that, the federal government needs to be looking at these policies as well.
That was New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Now, coming up, we talked to Box CEO Aaron Levy as the company unveils new AI products at its annual BoxWorks conference. That conversation is coming up next. Stay with us. This is Bloomberg Tech.
Yeah, RTX now, LMT still going. It's weird, the premium's jacked up way more. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's still up 60 now. That's weird. I'm glad I got out early. But they just gave you more on the pop. Without still going, Baba as well. And then Spy has been chilling. We did that earlier, and then Nvidia started coming back up. You got a lot of China names moving, but it is Euro. You're off, like, what, 10, 20 minutes off Euro close? We should do a push-up. We should move around a little bit. Today's philo. I got a good philo. I mean, I got a good one. I got a good one. Dog, that's crazy. You don't need it, though. You don't. This is what I'm saying, bro. We needed it ahead of time. It can't do anything for you now. It's obviously everything else is for the future still. But yeah. You've been prepared. And that's why, I don't know. I hope you see I hope you see the stakes and what is the cost. Yeah, JD's done that 3 times this week. Lockheed developing and testing laser weapons with Navy in the Red Sea. Can shoot down drones multiple times. That's coming out now for Lockheed. Boeing, they may have bad news. No! But Bradley! Oh. All right, Fannie Mae. So again, there was comments on that earlier, even with Lutnick. So Christian, where were you supposed to type that? OPAD AI. All right, you got a couple of small caps running, but the high ticker in general too. It's pretty broad right now. You have a lot of things moving actually. Still the same. You got Boeing and Disney, the only ones red on the Dow. NASDAQ, a little bit less, but 78 in the green now. Earlier it was like 85. So a couple names chilled, and then 430 on the SPY. You have just like 5 more names went red, but yeah, man, you're still in this same really, really broad bullishness today. Arquite, Josh Brown, Mr. CNBC. Ray Dalio warns America faces debt heart attack. Is that old? Yeah, it was like 5 minutes ago. Reddit. Where's Unch? Yeah, UNH still going. CNC fell, so that one just still holding the 10. Nothing else. Arquite and H. Is that Josh Brown? He just said Arquite. Core Weave now on the high too. 5 from Topher. Thank you, my friend. And good morning. God bless America. Service now. RCL too. Remember cruise lines? You had some activity yesterday. Oh, SPG. Remember, that was the other one on the watch list. They just had shitty options. I wanted a SPG, but I couldn't find a good one. Oh, yeah, some of them went 15 to 40. They're still shitty, though. Yeah, K-Web's really running. Too high to buy more Arquite. So a majority of my Arquite position is at like $3. So you tell me. Who do you work for? Let's let the money work for us. I don't want you guys to be working for me. You know, and this was another play, you know, it was Redfin at the time, but yeah. So even though you can't even buy Arquite at the price I bought it at, technically speaking. But yeah, our average is like $3 or something. I think after the other one, it should be like 7 or 9, but yeah, it says 980, but that's not really true. We had the other shares from earlier, but most of like this conversion is at $3, essentially. Because we bought Redfin. So I bought Redfin at $3, and then every one share of Redfin turned into like a share and change. You're just asking. I know I'm not. I hope. What do you think I'm doing? You just said it was for your kid. I'm trying to help you. So I know you guys have money, and I was just talking about people have money stacked up. It's like, even if you spend the money, you're gonna wait. So like, if you made that decision just 2 months ago and waited, you'd be up 50. But now you're still gonna spend the money, different price, and you'll still have to wait. So, yeah. And then you bought some intel? Okay. So you just don't read the rules, Jose. So God bless you, man. But I don't know if you've been locked in the same way. But yeah. But I'm not trying to be mean. Just like I said. So hopefully trying to save you guys money. So it's less divisive. You know, the better you perform, it'll be easy to understand what I'm saying, and probably won't get upset by a lot of other things. But yeah. So good luck. But yeah, so Arquite was Redfin. So it turned into Arquite from the buyout. So that was a good one. China hopes Mexico will be extra prudent in planned tariffs. Household wealth in U.S. drops by 1.6 trillion in Q1. Debt growth slows to 1.9. More LMT comments, and then RNA and LEU and KWeb and China cruise lines as well. Who else was it? Lockheed. Yeah, bro, Baba is really running. Again, KWeb, bro. KWeb up 2 is a big day. That does not happen too often. Yeah, hold on. I'm looking. The Baba cheapies are just, they're widening spreads now. Fuck yeah. They filled me. I got all my money back. Yo, make the Baba cheapies free. That play would not fucking move. And now you got 100%. Take it. Alright, I'm really happy about that one. So yeah, for next week too, you have a little bit of time. But if you played any of the Baba cheapies with me, they did not move. The near the money ones, remember I took profit on those yesterday? And I had these little cheapies. So yeah, and then remember, I think it was that information headline. Remember I told you it moved Baba 8% last time. We just didn't know if it was new or not. So it kind of had the same reaction. I can't believe they fucking filled that. Bro, they were hoeing me on that play. Wow. Baba. Nice. That was a good one. That was a really good one. Because we killed it on the Baba, so I had a bunch of those. And I just didn't expect it to hit, but it did. That's that's easy now. And then the old K-Webs are back to green finally too. You have a lot of time on those. I like, Habibi, I like. And then you got the free JD. I just want you to know you're my favorite code. FBI releases image of the shooter. Why do I have a feeling? I already know. You know, it actually doesn't look like I thought. I'm telling you, this is tripping me out. You guys don't realize this was like exactly my dream? It's tripping me out. Because remember, I told you in the dream, I got away. They still haven't found the shooter. So obviously YBN Namir was not involved, but I don't know what it was, but the whole concept, like 90% of it was almost exact, and it's trippy. But yeah, they haven't found the guy. Bro, I wrote it down. That's why I posted it up. It was in June 3rd. I had the dream, and I wrote it down in the morning, and we were just joking around, and I told you guys, you know, how I felt about it. But yeah, I was in a building. I remember, and then I remember going home, and I told you, I was like, I talked to my mom. It was dark, bro. It was a really dark dream. That's why I wrote it. It was so vivid, and I was scared. Because I was like, I felt a feeling that was just dark, like in the sense of what I was going to do. Because I thought I did something wrong in the dream and I was about to do something. And it was weird. It was not, I didn't like it. But yeah, household net change of worth 7.0 billion. Huh? That's wrong. The estimates should be in the trillions. That's weird. So I don't know. Something just came out with wealth, but yeah, it's odd. And 30-year fixed mortgage rates drop, lowest in a minute. STR. But yeah. But like in the dream, I'm the one who shot. That's why I said I did it, but then I had time to like get out, and like I went into a building. And then I hid there, and then I finally left, and I got home, and I talked to my mom, but then I remember I turned on the TV, and then they started blaming YBN Namir, and then he got in trouble for it, and then I got away. That was my dream. So again, I think in this case so far, I mean, it's trippy. We haven't found the guy. But yeah, so far, they don't know who did it. They just released a picture right now on Salt Lake. They're asking for, but again, they've already arrested 2 people and let them go. Telling you, bro, I think there's so much weird shit with it. You had the guy asking the question. You had a lot of it, bro. I mean, I don't know, bro. In the most stable way I could possibly explain. And I already told you this in advance. I think I could look a little bit into the future in like a very objective way. Like I told you guys earlier, I think you could do certain things. I think there's infinite intelligence. You remember I told you that, right? So, like, there's a lot of things we're too close to, and I just don't know I don't know what it means. I just don't know how to use it, but I know it exists. That's the craziest, simplest thing I could explain. It's like, again, like in every way, shape, and form. It applies to many things, but it's not like I'm telling you, it's not as weird as it may sound, and it's also just Jesus. But like I'm saying, I don't like it. It disturbs me. Because I'm telling you, bro, the shit where I'm changing my behavior and I'm like, yeah, guys, this is important. It's important. It's like the reasons why I don't. It's very, very important, man. So I hope all of you, and I need your guys' help. That's why I told you, your minds are very important in your future. And we all have to work together. And yeah, we need a movement, bro. And it will be, you guys are the good people. It's the ones who are willing. Like I said, the harvest is plenty. Yeah, bonds too, dude. The Baba cheapies are still up. That's amazing. They're going higher now. So something just snapped with Baba. All of the premiums, bro. I was gonna double dip on them. I was like, no way, those go up. God will pour them out. Amen. Amen, bro. Amen. And I think God is good, and He is the truth. Jesus Christ, man. Yeshua. I think the bond, it's what I said on the watch list on Monday. So that's another one in the future. But I'm just telling they're changing the narrative. And I hope it was a timely time to move on. But yeah. How are these going up, bro? Are you for real? You have chemicals and commodities moving. Oh, you have Dow. I forgot. That could be it. Oh, I don't think I played that one. But Dow is going to be at the conference, or one of them. Yeah, Dow Chemical. They're all starting to move. Some of the ones related to it. Vegas is... I haven't been to Vegas in a while, but yeah, I've heard it is slowing down pretty heavily. I don't think Vegas is bad. I just think Vegas is what's it called? I just think they overpriced it. Like, Vegas just isn't what Vegas used to be. Like, I can't, like, you have to pay for valet. They just nickel and dime everybody. So it's, again, they try to make it more like family friendly to attract tourists, but it's like, I don't think it's just slowing down because of price. I don't think it's because of demand or demand is getting affected by cost, because like China's already coming back up and other casinos elsewhere are doing great right now. But literally and Vegas isn't bad. It's just slowing down because you have other options. It's like, if you're going to travel and spend money, get on a plane, it's like, if I'm going to start spending X amount and you get to a certain range, like, I'm going to go to Hawaii or go somewhere that will be better to go somewhere versus, because like Vegas used to be like somewhat affordable, or they would like welcome you with a lot of perks and gifts to get you to come and make it cheaper. But now it's reverse. Now they're charging you for all the little stuff that used to come with it. That's what gave it the Vegas experience. You know, everybody liked all of everything, like, you know, the glitz, the glamour, free drinks, free parking, a valet for free. Like, this was stuff, like, I remember the first time I went to Vegas, I'm like, what? For free? And then you love it, but nah, it's not like that anymore. Yeah, it's super expensive. Which, again, it's like, for certain people, it doesn't impact the same way, but for like a big market that you could have growth and everything, it's just stupid. Even the like shitty hotels, they charge for everything. Well, speak of the devil, LVS. Motel 6 has a resort fee? That's crazy. Win this year would have been a great pickup. That thing went up 100%. Pizza, pizza! Starbucks? I don't know what price it's at. We talked about Starbucks in the long term a while ago before the CEO pop. So yeah, I like it at the low, but you got to get back into like the low 70s to have this talk. I mean, you can, again, if your portfolio, depending on your setup, I mean, you could work anything into your portfolio. I mean, homeboy asked me about Synopsys today. So it's like, if it's not at the ultimate value price, you don't have to listen to me. You know, use your cash balance and everything else to make a good judgment. But yeah, I think you have a long-term talk in the 70s. This isn't the worst price, but like I'm saying, it was trading lower this year. So I think you can get a better price. Oh, I hate Stellantis. I barely even like the autos, but yeah, Stellantis especially, not a fan of. Chat, bro, you could lease those new EV Challenger thingies for so cheap. It looks cool, but yeah. No pre-run on Adobe is concerning. No, man, you're just late. I was saying it. Adobe, both sides of Adobe went up 200 to 300% already. So I already made both sides free. So even though the stock barely moved this week, I somehow got a free call and a free put, multiple, just by playing the run up from Monday. Would have made way more on Oracle, but we did good the day after. But yeah, so it's not moving as much right now today, but it low-key already had it. Yeah, CNC slipped. I thought CNC was going to do a lot better. With the leaps we had, killed it. And like I said on those, so again, I don't know, it's kind of part of the whole you work for me thing. That's why, be careful of the pumpers, you guys. And I haven't disclosed all of the plays like I have. And I don't know, I think it highlights this point. Like I'm telling you, I got stuff. It's like, you see the open doors, like we've been in that, dude, and it's like I'm not trying to pump it, and you see how people are with it. And like the healthcare plays, like, you're asking me why I didn't buy UNH and CNC. I bought options with them, so I made a fuck ton of money on UNH already. I just don't brag about it. So I caught every time I'm telling you value, all that. I played an option. I wasn't ready for 10 years. I made a fuck ton on UNH already. And then CNC, I bought leaps on it before Buffett. So what I'm telling you is, one, pay attention of how people hype things after at the bad time. You guys did know about when I'm buying all of these. I'm just leaving the action decision up to you. But now specifically with the leap, because some of these you could have played leaps. And now it's like, if it really goes crazy, if you have more than one, you could just put it in your long term. So let me put it this way. If CNC somehow gets to like $60, $70 somehow by the end of this year and we have that leap, you could sell it and take the money. Or if you're really like, yeah, I want it in the long term, you can exercise it and transfer it to your long term. Call your broker and tell them to put the shit. I did that with Netflix back in the day. So you could do that. So just keep in mind, but is that the optimal strategy? No, I don't. It's separate from long term. But I'm just trying to show you how you could turn gambling profits into a real long term if you really wanted to. And that's why I'm saying, like, some of these plays, I'm not ready for 10 years because I'm really making a 10-year decision. But I did do short-term plays on them, even though, well, options. But in this case, CNC, bro, you can, if that really recovers and goes nuts, one option is 100 shares. So like in CNC's case, it's like it'd be like $2,000, $3,000 for 100 shares. But then you could guarantee it doubled and then throw it in your long term, and it pays a dividend. So, but just think about that. You don't have to always monetize it cash wise. And if you ended up buying like a longer term or an option that goes really deep in the money with time, and it is a long-term quality play, you could always move it in there, but you'll have to hold for 10 years. So yeah. Core weave again. Is that, who's that? That looked like Howard's son, but that's not. He looked related to Howard. I think Baba, the premiums are just still, they're out of, dude, the premiums went from dead to now they're out of whack. So yeah, those Babas are still going. It's kind of insane. It doesn't really make too much sense. Where's Bobo? We ain't got nothing from Bobo yet. All right, 9:20. Would you guys like to do some push-ups? I kind of want to just do push-ups and go to Philo. I think all of you just want to go to Philo. I think we all do. We made good money today, but I really don't give a shit, dude. I'm sad. Usually, man, the market will even distract me. And I'm not, but I am. Just give me the Lord, bro. Give me, I don't even know. All right, we'll do a push-up first, and let me go to the bathroom, and then I'll have to set up the video, but we'll probably go a little earlier. I won't even, it's not even sad. It's just it's a very deep motivation is one way I could describe it. Anger, I don't even know. It's a new word. I can't describe it. I'm telling you, it's not yeah, it's a new one.
My brother Dennis Michael Edwards, as James Taylor said, I always thought I'd see you again.
U.S. share buyback volumes have further room to increase. This has always been a Joe thing when talking about positive catalysts for the market. It angers me that they play that
now,
means an additional $600 billion of share buybacks, they
honoring them first thing
on
in the
top
morning.
of the record 1.5 trillion
they play a
annual
fucking
pace
European
seen this year. In other words,
copies
the
Jerome
buyback
Powell.
force, which has propagated the equity market strongly this year, is likely to become even stronger. We've gotten Tapestry $3 billion yesterday. This month, Airbnb and Uber. We had notable ones throughout July, whether it's Newmont or Schwab or Bank of America or Southwest or Novartis or Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan. There were others in May and June as well. Joe?
The one name left off there is Berkshire Hathaway. They have not been buying back their stock, but I think towards the end of the year, if we get a rate-cutting cycle, there will be more intention to buy back stock. Now, you could make the argument that maybe some of those buys are not good buys, or maybe some of those buys are a little bit over-aggressive in their nature in terms of the amount and the quantity, but I still think that acts as an overall catalyst for the confidence of the market. It's a sentiment indicator more than anything else.
Agreed. You know I love buybacks. Yeah. And with regards to Berkshire, I think they're going to buy somebody else's stock back. But regardless, look, I like when you've got companies like Apple, like Citigroup, like any of a number of companies, Wynn Resorts, that are buying back so many shares that they shrink the share count. So when you combine net income growth, which is going on in the strong economy that we've got, with a lower denominator of shares, that makes for a pretty good pop in earnings per share.
Last thing I want to do in this block, IPOs. We had Klarna yesterday. Nobody interested? Josh, no interest in that? Too busy at Future Proof to focus enough on it? What do you think?
I don't know. There are so many other ways. If you're bullish on buy now, pay later, PayPal, Affirm, like if that's like really the theme that you want to invest in, you're not restricted to buying the shares of a recently public company that we haven't even seen them do an earnings report yet. Who knows if we can trust this as a longer term investment theme. So it's not that I'm bearish on Klarna. I think there might be cheaper ways if I cared. There's also XYZ Block. So like everyone's doing buy now, pay later. It's not crazy novel. And so I don't know that this is my type of situation.
Okay, lastly, I lied. I want to do one more thing. It's the banks. We did say record highs, but just to let everybody know, Bank of America 52-week high, Citi at a 52-week high. That's the highest since August 24th, second straight week. Excuse me, I read something else. 52-week high for Bank of America, 52-week high for Citi. I think I conflated a couple of different things on my notes.
Yeah, well, what we were just talking about matters. How long were we talking about the IPO market opening up? And it is opened up. We may not want to buy Klarna. I'm with you on that, Josh. But look, there's a lot of IPOs. We're here a lot of days during the week, and it seems like almost every day there's a new IPO coming. So what we've been waiting for in terms of the banks, the big money center banks that have capital markets, is happening.
Anyone concerned about valuation on the banks? Because you could make the argument it's getting a little bit stretched.
They are. I mean, the price of books are now at the upper end, but their earnings are now moving as well. So I think that is helping. And if interest rates do come down, the wealth management businesses get to be even better because they're going to peddle more products to their customers to do that.
That's why they're
you get a housing cycle. These banks are not going to trade on valuation. They're going to trade on growth.
All right, so let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Jimmy has a new buy. He's feeling so good about Oracle in his A5 the other night. No thanks to the tofu, he said, I want the filet.
The 10 or 15 ounce?
You can't afford the 15 ounce. I don't even know if you can afford the 10 ounce.
Dude, my stomach can't afford it.
The A5.
All right. I took more of the babas off the table. They keep going, bro. I had to. And then I had to ban you for saying you added to the long term. Please don't post your plays, you guys. Like I'm saying, I hope you take the info and use it, but we want the community to be less, I don't want you to influence like that. I want you to make decisions and learn how to do it in the moment, but you don't need to talk your book on it. And that has been something we've been doing for the last couple of months here. So don't act surprised. Okay, I made 3M free, 100%. No, we're just waiting on the appeal for the tariff stuff. It's still on the table, but right now it just all depends on what happens with the appeal, because technically the judge, they allowed it to keep going. So for now, nothing's changed until we get a judgment. Yeah, 3M still has the conference. That was a conference play this morning. So it already went up 100%. I think it could go more, but I'll just take the money. I still have some, but I don't want risk. ONON. Yo, ONON. That could be tied to trade or a conference. Any good options? Kinda. Kinda. Let's see if this one goes. It might be a little too far out. But yeah, I don't think they're at... No, I think they were at the conference, to be honest. It just reminds me of Nike and then all the other one. Oh, new buy, Jim Liebenthal. Damn. Okay. So that might move, but just not as much. If it was a conference play with an update, I would have liked it, but just some rich guy bought it. Fastnall again. Remember we saw that one earlier? Oh, which one was that? ONON. Some LMTs still. All right, Mogu. ONON CNBC. Yeah, bro. Fuck. I thought it was gonna be because they are at the conference. I think they are. I just ignored it. But that's why I was like, ooh. And then with Nike and then the trade stuff in Vietnam, that could have been good, but it's just CNBC. It's just CNBC. Staples. All right. And Mexico on the high. EWW. Bob is still going, man. That one's very fascinating now. Yeah, they released a picture of a suspect. But remember, they've arrested 2 people, took them into custody, and have already released them because it wasn't him. It's very bad, man. I'm telling you. There's people suspected. There was like people in the crowd. There was the fake guy who said it was him. It's terrible because it just kind of... We don't know anything yet, but, you know, there's a lot of things that make you assume, like... There was a lot of people who... there was a lot of planning that was involved, sadly. Like, it's actually very annoying and sad because not only did you have somebody with the capability to shoot somebody and snipe them, but you had other people. That's again, we don't know anything, but that's what people are starting to think right now. Because when you look around, there was just some bad things, man. Starbucks on the low. Again, if anything, it's either conference or something related to China news. No, I don't think we've ever witnessed anything like this. I'm telling you, this is weird. Very weird. It was the slaughtering in public, planned execution of a future presidential candidate. I don't think you guys realize. It's crazy. After I said it in the moment, bro, this changes the probabilities of everything. It was a true black swan. That's why we can't explain how we feel right now. That's why a lot of people are just, it's weird. Their reactions, both good and bad, are weird because this was a true black swan. That's why I said I would love for Nassim Taleb to weigh in on it, but I think this was a very, very unexpected event. If you say nah, I just think you're in denial about it. The guy has been, since a child, he was a young boy, involved in politics. He started committees. He created Turning Point USA. This guy, within a few years, was already a moving force in politics. He already impacted the election. This guy was going to be a president. He would have at least ran for it, and I would have voted for him. But yeah, I can't take it any lighter than that. It's just like with the Kamala shit. This is big. That's why I'm telling you. When was the last time you saw a future candidate assassinated? That doesn't happen. It's like I'm saying, the probabilities of everything got flipped on its head yesterday. As somebody involved in intelligence, I could tell, like literally, every probability that existed yesterday, right when that bullet went off, it all changed. Probabilities of midterms, probabilities of voter behavior, you name it. You go down every list of probabilities, nothing is the same now, just off of that one action. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. That's why I'm saying it really is a black swan. And that's why I'm like, I'm in shock. Sad. No, I don't think it's exhausting. That's why I said it's like kind of motivating. Because this is. But yeah, that's why y'all just better wake up, man. I've been yelling at people, telling them, I said, what happened and all this. Even then, I think some of you are failing to grasp the situation even right now. And just, God bless you. I hope you see the light one day. Because this is ridiculous. It's again, just like the little stuff. The stuff we saw early was ridiculous, but it didn't involve assassinations and murder, and there was a lot of early signs that I called out for you guys. And I'm saying not the time to be sanguine or to think I don't even know. Just I'll leave it to your guys' minds, but I think some of you get it. I think you already understood everything, and I think you saw everything we've been talking about lately. It was no coincidence. I don't think I wouldn't really get bothered. Like you have a lot of opportunities for people to say stuff that's gonna bother you. I wouldn't get bothered by people acting evil. You know, the people downplaying it, the people laughing, the people making fun of it, I wouldn't really get bothered by that. That's going to happen. That's what I'm saying. It's everything that led up to this. I'm more bothered by the people who let them laugh about it in advance that got us here. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be bothered. And don't let... You guys need to take care of yourselves. That's what I'm telling you. This is what I said. What you listen to, what you hear. This is why I even said in the chat, you got so many... It just shows people's true colors. And I hope you don't forget when you see them. But at the end of the day, just take care of yourself, all of you. And this is what I've been saying. This is part of it. You're up against a formidable enemy. So I hope you respect it, and we're gonna need you. And you better take care of yourself. And that's why I said I've been very strict on what I allow to both see, hear, listen to, all of that. And you should do the same. Not for my benefit, but for your own, you know? And that's what I'm saying. You're going to see things that are going to bother you. I'm not worried. You think I care if you make fun of the dead guy? You what? You really think? No. That shouldn't bother you. They're going to do that. That's what they have done. They've been doing it. They've been pissing on people's graves and making fun of you for it. You think that's what? No, I don't. No one cares about that. Don't. You need to be mentally solid. Do you understand me? All of you. That's what it is. You will be solid. You will be stable. We already knew they were going to act like that. That's why I told you, bro. I'm not surprised. I'm sad. I don't want to accept it, but I can't tell you I didn't see it coming. I can't tell you that these... did I expect anything more from them? No, I didn't. So what do you think they're going to do? You already know the fucking rhetoric that's going to happen. I don't care about that. I care about your mind. I care about fear. I have zero fear. Do you understand me? Do you know how many you understand? I am less fearless after the last 24 hours than not. Praise the Lord. You don't get it. All of you. For you yourself too. You will have no fear. And you will not. Well, you need to watch your mind right now. That's what the same energy I've been telling you leading up to it. So watch your mind. And what you think you're saying and believing and how it's in. Remember your spectrum of thought. What are you saying? If I control the spectrum, you ain't saying shit. Free yourself. But y'all need to watch your minds right now. For real. Don't get bothered. That's what I'm saying. I have nothing to say. I could talk, but there's really not much, man. You don't have to. I need you to protect yourself right now and be aware of it and be ready. So call it a day. But if you don't use this as an opportunity to slip, don't use this as an opportunity to drift. Don't use this as an opportunity to affirm. And again, you must feel the blessing, my brother. And I think, unfortunately, these are the moments that are really going to test you. So keep your head on straight. Amen, man. Give your mind to the Lord. Figure IPO. I forgot there was one. 41%. 31 million shares at 25. Yeah, you guys are fucked. TTD still. Apple's getting a candle. Southwest CEO, Boeing has continued to get better. We're continuing to boost our delivery expectations this year. Southwest commenting about Boeing. There it is. Yeah. Boeing's going to comment about Boeing soon too, but yeah, we'll see. All right. Well, I think it'll take you there. I hope it does. Yeah, it will. But time to move to Philo. Time to move to Philo. So I will see you there. God bless you and God bless America. And yeah, that's it. It's time. Time for much needed Jesus talk. You could sell the Boeing probably too if you have it. So yeah, because I know someone's gonna ask me. Okay, that's another 100%. But yeah. All right, I'll see you guys there.